baby, go. Welcome to the street. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Yes, for the handful of people that were here right at the start, going, what in the Sam Hill was that? Welcome everybody to the stream. My name is Brian. This is Ginger Prime. Today we're chilling, hanging out, playing some New World. It is double XP extravaganza weekend. That is right, from July the 1st through July the 5th. Everything's pretty much doubled. Crafting is just 1.25, so 25% increase on the crafting experience. Everything else getting that extra boost, baby. If you want to join in, we'll be live over on Discord, just kind of hanging out, chilling, playing, leveling, hopefully having a freaking good time. We're going to do this for a couple hours. As usually my streams tend to run about 2 hours-ish. And then, yeah, it's going to be a fun day. So hopefully you guys are having a good one. And if you're watching this in the archive, sound off in the comments below. If you don't know what to say, you can always just drop emotes. Drop a here for the support. All that stuff is generally really well welcomed with an algorithmic support. So I want to jump into the chill room and we're going to start leveling. Everything's doubled. So I think I'm going to do knock out some quests here real quick. Going to get some gypsum. And then I'm probably going to see if I can't grind out weapons. Start thinking about my weapon mastery. And oh man, I think I'm just also in fishing gear. So I think I might have to swap from fishing. But weapon mastery wise, I'm working on Great Axe and Warhammer. And then the last double XP event that was weapons based, I was able to push everything to at least to 10. And now that we're sitting here at round 2, see if we can't get some more. I don't know if I should push everything to 15 or if I should just try to get something to 20. So we'll play it by ear. Let's see, do I have any tokens to turn in? I don't think. Do I have enough for an orb? Is it 7,000? Yeah, it's 7,000. Let's get that orb. All right, and take up arms at Reekwater, and then reconnaissance the camp, eradicate Marauder and Covenant. I never really grabbed those. That's a lot of tokens. Those are a lot of tokens altogether. We get those 3 bonuses, and I probably, since I'm not planning on fishing today, probably should get out of my fishing gear. I think that's probably going to be a good financial decision in terms of if I'm running around PvP flagged. But if you guys don't feel like doing PvP and you want to join in, we don't have to. We can unflag the PvP, and we can also just go beat on some mobs, run some dungeons. I don't care. It's going to be I'm just looking to have a good day. What's going on, everybody? Oh yeah. All right, let's see here. Recently, I got my first piece of gear to 600, and then I kind of pushed it up easier with the Umbral Shards. So I need to make sure I'm grabbing some more Umbral Shards. And then, yeah, I think I'm focusing on, I think boots essentially where I want, and then also been grabbing up new swords, just kind of push that up as well. But let's take a look gear-wise. I really, really wish we had loadouts. That would save me so much time and stress. See here. Let's see what I've got already here. I don't even know what my technical build is going to be. 547. I'm gonna equip that. That's good. Then we got these pants. Shirking Hills of the Ranger. We'll just equip it. And rushing plate chest guard, strength and focus. Okay, fine. So that's that. I gotta figure out something for a hat here. This ring is 20 strength, over 20 focus. Yeah, I definitely want strength. Headgear, 22 strength. Yes, please. Strength. I don't want the gloves, the Vengeful Fisherman. I think I have better gloves than that. That's definitely higher. What is this one? That's 570, so that's not bad. Still not in the 600s, but it is what it is. All right, and then shield's fine. Boots, strength, dexterity. So I'm just looking for gloves right now. So let me take a look at what I've got going on in here. All right. Those are minors. Don't want that one. I guess just search gloves. Save myself some time. Yellow gloves. Perfect. 3, 326. I'm saving a lot of this stuff for when the new salvaging system comes out. Morningdale. Harvester gloves. Ooh, okay. That's got focus on it still. A little less focus. Slowing tether on successful hit. Tether inflicts slow. Beast ward. Let's see here. What else we got? That's definitely a candidate. I would prefer. That's 511. Focus and Constitution. Focus again. Man, I got I got nothing but focus. I should use the inventory to build out my builds. Like, okay, I'm gonna put this build in this, and always just kind of manage it that way. That we don't have loadouts, but I guess I could kind of build my own. I'll do that after the July update. That's gonna be my plan. 421. Do I not have any good gloves? Interesting. Nothing Edmund scale. Reek water. Everfall. All right, I think I'm gonna go with the. Grab these guys. All right, cool. A little bit less on the focus, but I like that. I'd rather have the perk, I guess. Let's see here. What do we have? Dexterity, intelligence, strength, and constitution. I think I'll take that, and let's go with attributes, respec. Grab a little bit more constitution. Grab a lot of strength. What does that give me? Increase when my stamina, regen faster. Oh, I'll go with it. I'll go with it for now. Cool. Do I have friends list? Any spot on my friends list? I do not.
Hey, what's going on, Brian?
What's happening, my dude? How you been, dude?
Busy.
Work keeping you busy?
Work, moving into a new house.
Oh man, dude, moving. Ugh. Yeah. How's that move coming along? And thanks guys for the 3 likes. I appreciate that.
It's taking its sweet time. So I'm basically renovating the place right now. So
my sister's doing something similar.
Yeah, it's taking a little bit longer to get stuff actually moved.
Yeah.
Because we got painting and all that other stuff, and now it's just like, well, there's carpet on the floor. We don't care for it, so we're just gonna paint the walls, and then you just throw away the carpet. So. Oh,
that's not a bad idea, especially if you're gonna get rid of the carpet. It's like because painting is like when you have to sit here and manage all of it. It's such a pain. What's going on? Shadow Lurking says, I just recently discovered you. Don't need to go into the actual city to access the city's storage. How do you access the city's storage without going into the city? Are you talking about like from another city's storage? Because if that's the case, then yeah. But I was like, I can just be out here and access city storage? Because if that's the case, holy smokes. You have to get to I know you have to get to a city the first time to unlock a city. So, I guess without giving, like, doxing yourself, like, when is the move going to be? I was about to say, so where are you moving to? So where, how soon do you think the move and everything is going to be knocked out? Oh yeah, that's right. I should just be doing everything because everything's giving me experience. What's up, dude? Yeah.
Probably moving would probably take roughly about. I renewed my lease for a year on the apartment that I'm in.
Okay.
But the rent is just too much. They shut my rent up by $175.
Oh, daggum.
So it's too much and I can just be banking all of it because the house is already paid for and everything. So
Oh, nice.
I just have to pay property taxes. I'm inheriting my my grandfather's, so that's.
I'm sorry that that he passed away, but that's awesome. That's such a gift right there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Yes.
But on a different note, I was reading in the Discord a little bit earlier about the whole exclusivity deal thing, and
I came into it. I was like, oh wow, there's a lot of opinions going on here.
Yeah. So like, I get where people are coming from.
Why don't you go ahead, to sum it up, just so anybody who's listening, essentially the question is, like, Sony, Microsoft publishing on each other's platforms, should it be done, should it not be done? And, you know, like, I'm of the belief that, like, at this point, I'm fine with timed exclusive for single player games, but multiplayer games, it's like, if you're going to be on, because essentially Phantasy Star Online 2, if you guys haven't seen, is finally coming to PlayStation this August. And I think that's really good news. And ultimately, that's kind of where I was like, oh yeah, it's coming. And then it's like, but this exclusive is not on this platform yet. And then, you know, it's like, and then now I was like, all right. So what were you going to say, Clink?
Oh, so basically what I was going to say on that aspect is I agree with how you're saying it. Like, I agree on both. Like, I agree on both, like, on both viewpoints. Like, if it's multiplayer, like a good like third-party multiplayer game, I agree it should be released on every system. You should keep the exclusivities for trying to sell platforms, but considering majority of platforms are going PC wise anyways, from my understanding,
yeah,
it's just like, what's the point anymore? Like,
right, the platform should just evolve to be the in the choice of the viewer, like, the, you know, like, do you like that ecosystem, then good.
Basically what you hold in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, and that's where it's like, I could see them going into a timed exclusive mindset. So it's like, yeah, play first on PlayStation, but then it's like, okay, after a year, it's like, just release the game, because now you're gonna make way more money, you know, way more money, and that supports the, like, people are like, oh, well, all right, tracking and skinning, finally, my first post progression level on that one. Fall says, I think exclusives shouldn't be a thing, but PlayStation PC's been doing it forever. LOL. Like, why aren't there more PC games on console? I think essentially that ends up coming down to, like, an experience, right? Because, like, I can see where, and this is the same thing, where that's one of the things that I think when you talk about cloud gaming, as to bring that into the conversation, cloud gaming hasn't shown what it does different that can't be done by standard game. They haven't found that fun and found that, like, thing that's like, oh, the reason why, like, outside, like, an MMO in my mind is kind of like a cloud, like, it's, you know, but when we're talking about an always online console, like, what value does it ultimately bring to the, like, game and game design? We haven't seen anybody do that. But in case of, like, a PC game coming to console, I fully support that, as long as you don't end up having a degradation of the experience to the point where it's just not playable. And we've seen games that are, and this, we see it actually, I think, more on PC, where it's just like, yeah, like, that game's not playable. Cyberpunk 2077 comes to mind, where that's a game that really was, like, if you had a high-end PC, you were fine. But not everybody has the luxury of having a 3,000 plus gaming PC. Some people were told that it would run on a PlayStation, and then it's like, ooh, that, you know, maybe we should have not done that. Hey, all right, the bots are back.
So on topic of that, like, a good company to take note of is one. It's a third party who had an exclusivity deal. Because actually, I was just going to mention this to you in the Discord a little bit earlier, but Inti Creates, the creators for, like, Azure Striker, Gunvault, I guess you call them the spiritual successors, or the same authors who made the Mega Man X series on Super Nintendo. They originally had the game on 3DS, and then it went to a couple other systems, and now they just said that it's going to be going to Xbox. So I'm just like, that's cool, because that means that game is on every system imaginable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I agree. I think player choice is key.
Yeah, and I think that's amazing because you have a clear choice of how you want to play that game. I mean, granted, it's going to take a little bit longer for the sequels to come out, or they may just release it all as one big bundle pack. Like, I'm not really 100% sure how they're going to do that, but I think that's a clear-cut way of getting things done.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see in the grand scheme of things how it all boils down. You know, in terms of like how the next 5 and 10 years end up looking, because like PC gamers, it's like, oh yeah, like why would I abandon? And that's where I think PlayStation 5 really kind of struggled at first. Am I claiming this thing? Is it? It looks like it's purple.
To be fair, it's still struggling. Not so much with games as it is ownership of consoles.
Interesting. This looks like it's locked, but it looks like it's also, we got our purple flag here. So I'm going to assume that we have control of this right now. So I'll go turn in this PvP request.
So as what I was saying earlier in the Discord as well, also is, or I was suggesting that because I know you posted a thing in the general chat about somebody posted a screenshot of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, that was Wes. He posted that as I think some kind of like meme or GIF or whatever. And then you're saying that the Rescue Rangers is a spiritual successor to that. And then 1 second before you answer, Karamek's asking chat, like it's like we are. If you want XP, I don't care if it's weapons, if it's dungeons, if we just want to run around together and farm. It could be PvP, non-PvP. I don't care. But if you want to get some XP today, it is a double XP weekend all the way through July the 5th. We are on Ofrenerfru. I can't spell it, but you can always use the command server in chat or command Discord in chat. If you want to come hang out with Clink and me, it's open to all. You don't even have to be playing New World. Like, this is just a game hangout, what I call community. Like, I don't get community game days a lot. We usually do community game nights. But Julie was like, yeah. I was like, hey, double XP weekend, can I go play on Saturday? She's like, yeah. So we got several hours. We're going to be here for a while. And if you want to come and talk video games, you want to talk about the 14 live letter yesterday. Like, I just want to hang out, play some games, get an insane amount of experience. And, yeah, that's what we're doing. So all are welcome. If you come in, just don't be coming in like, dropping F-bombs left and right. I appreciate that, but dude, I love this game. Like, I love New World. Like, it is so weird how it is just, because I didn't think I was going to like the aesthetic. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then it's like, it just kind of absorb, like, I just feel so absorbed into the game that I absolutely adore it. And that's where, like, whatever ends up happening in the grand scheme of things, I think the game's is gonna do real well, based off of just my history with MMORPGs. But you never know. Like, you never know. So I just kind of find it funny when eventually I figure we'll have a doomer come around here and just be like, this game dead. It's like, all right. Like, all right, you do you, man. Anyway, what were you gonna say, Clink, about Rescue Rangers?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say because you were asking if it was safe for kids.
Yeah, I assume it would be.
And from what I can recall from the movie, I think there may be like 1 or 2 dark scenes, but that has to deal with the bad guy anyways. So general Disney movie rules as my go-to for that. So I don't want to say it's as dark as, like, let's say what Lion King is.
Okay.
Like,
then
in the beginning.
Yeah, I cried at like watching the Lion King with the kids.
Yeah.
And Karamek,
it's not to that extent.
If you're PvP flagged, you can send me an invite. Otherwise, I'll be in the town in a second, and I can join you for that quest. Yeah. So if y'all need quests done, if y'all need dungeons done, like, this is like everything's giving double XP. So I'm just here to have a good time.
But yeah, overall, like, I was surprised the way that they pulled that movie off, or because, like, I seen it, like, I can recommend it to a lot of people, especially for those who like who like the Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of experience, because that's, again, it's a spiritual successor to it.
Okay.
And I think it's amazing.
Spiritual successor. You must be talking about Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite dark, if I'm honest.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah. Like, especially the one scene you were talking about. Like, there's not many dark. You know, it was not that bad, but the one scene you were talking about, I feel like was pretty bad when you look into the history of it.
Yeah.
Welcome to Grown Men Review Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. To the dark side, baby.
I'm like, well, I'm paying for Disney Plus, and there's no Marvel on right now. Might as well watch
Have
something.
you have you seen? Because I haven't turned back. Like I usually alternate between Netflix and Disney Plus, so we're not back on Disney Plus. But I've been wanting to watch Ghost Knight. Have you seen that? Not Ghost Knight. Is it Ghost Knight? Moon Knight. Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. No, I haven't seen that yet. No.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Like, I watched the first. I'm guessing there was going to be more than one season. But I seen the first season, and it's weird. It is very, very weird. Like, it's hard to explain, but basically, I forget what the disorder is, but the one where people have multiple personalities, that's sort of like a general,
I think it's multiple
concept.
personality disorder. Like I think that's just the name.
Oh, that's just the name of it. I thought there was an actual, like, scientific name behind it.
I mean,
There
there
might
probably
be.
is, but
Yeah.
but most people know
Okay.
it as that.
So Board Fan says, I'd honestly like to see a single player co-op version of New World. What, like, instead of an MMORPG, just like a straight up, like, here's just a single player RPG. That's one of the things that we like is when you start, like, if I was ever to launch my own MMO, like, it would be a multi-year project process, because I would not launch the first game as an MMO. I would make that idea so that you could have some form of nostalgia, right? But I would launch those single player games with the intention of evolving at some point into an MMO, you know, because it's like, that's when I was like, yeah, there's no, most MMORPGs that are still around, they all came from an established franchise.
Yeah.
Except
Except for New World. Is there another one that I'm not thinking of?
EverQuest.
Well, that was the first one.
Technically, there was this.
Right, like, but that's like, that was like the first, like, when you're talking about like an MMO, sorry, I was thinking more like MMO now, like, because even then they followed up EverQuest with that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because
Sorry,
it's
I
like
missed that.
then World of Warcraft was still based off of War, like outside of like generally being first, even Ultima, like, so there is an exception, right? Like EverQuest being, you know, like completely brand new, but that, like, in the field of MMORPGs, like that only, I think, strengthens my point.
Yeah. In order to find one that was an original IP that is stuck around to today, I had to go back 23 years to the first commercially successful 3D MMO. It's not the first 3D MMO, but it's the first one that people remember, because all the other ones died before it launched.
Okay.
But yeah, your point stands. If it's not coming from an established IP, they tend to not stick.
Well, and it's usually an established IP that, my theory, like my, guess here,
Game theory.
that's just a theory. My personal thought on it is that the nostalgic aspect is what helps bridge the gap in that first struggle. Like when I look at MMORPGs, I think a lot of people misremember the history of MMORPGs, and they're like, "Oh, that was great." It's like, yeah, like you actually go look at the articles and what people were saying in that time frame. Not enough content. Is this game going to be around? Blah blah blah. It's like the same story, and then eventually, it, you know, like after enough time and investment, that if the studio keeps it up, like then all of a sudden it will have enough content and time, like things like that, and trust. But I think nostalgia helps bridge that gap. And I was like, what I was trying to identify, what was the nostalgic aspect for me in New World, and what it is that growing up in East Texas, around Louisiana, and like in Nacogdoches and that area, like the aesthetics are the world itself. Like this feels very very much like my childhood, like just playing around in the forest. And so all of a sudden I was like, that's my connection. That's why, like despite like, oh yeah, I would like there to be more things that I can do in the game, but I'm like, I'm just enjoying this. Like it reminds me of being, you know, like the sense of wonder and mystery around the island. I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool.
But I would say not even just nostalgia helps with those games. It's the fact that they've had history building worlds. A lot of them have story. I know WoW isn't very story heavy. Well, it's becoming more story heavy now over time because of, you know, influences from the other story based games like Fantasy. But they've had the history of making worlds and stories and lore, which means that when they start working on the MMO, they already have the precedent of working on building a world already. It might not have been the exact world that they were doing, but they know what they're going in it with the idea of what they want to do. While a lot of the newer MMOs don't have that. They're just people that have been hired that might have history in certain areas, but they don't have it in that one world.
Yeah.
So,
no, you're good. Yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting like couple years. Like I think I don't how we haven't talked about the live letter yet, Chili. I mean, a mini podcast where we're all just hanging out. What was your takeaway from yesterday's Final Fantasy 14 live letter? Because there were some really exciting things for me, and I don't want to sway you, but
well, there's a load of things I'm excited for. But before we go, can I just respond to this one person?
Oh, absolutely.
Board fan said, if MMOs were to utilize procedurally generated dungeons and good ones, content wouldn't be an issue for a newly launched MMO. I mean, one of the issues with that is, first of all, you have to make enough effort to make all the different biomes to make it truly random. But even then, it's very hard to balance encounters with procedurally generated stuff because, again, it's done by the AI, so you don't know exactly what's going to be happening. And with MMOs being so strictly balanced nowadays with endgame, doing something like this could be kind of frustrating for the players.
Yeah, so I like procedurally generated, and having actually written some procedural generation, like to actually make it then fun and interesting. Like it is a challenge, and that's where it's like you kind of see people do some procedural along with some predetermined. Like it's like, okay, so we're gonna say this and this and this. So I think what I would say is that procedural generation takes a lot more work up front, and then after all that, then essentially you can ideally kind of find ways to make things more unique and interesting. All right, I'm gonna head to you. Are you out? Okay, you're out here. Is this where the quest is at?
Yeah, it's in Reekwater. I'm right next to the waypoint that's closest.
Yeah,
and it's real close to the waypoint too.
Oh, thanks, Orbo.
When it comes to Final Fantasy, I'm really excited for the new dungeons.
Dude, like yeah, they showed off the new dungeon, the story driven dungeon, but I'm just like the fact that we're finally getting well, I mean, it's like the kind of savage dungeons, and the question that I have for that though is that what's that turnaround in terms of difficulty? Like, he didn't talk about a self-contained progression system, so it just sounds like these are just savage dungeons, and I'm so thrilled for that. I think we've wanted that for so long, and to see that finally come into play has me thrilled, because that's more my speed. I don't know why I'm just like, when it comes to the savage raids, I'm like, nah, but then they say savage dungeons, I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Well, it's more because it's 4-player content instead of 8. I know you wanted 5-player content.
Oh, that would be my ideal, but yeah, that would be a lot more change.
It would take... It's easier to find 3 more people than it is to find 7 more people.
Yeah.
So I think that's why a lot of people are more excited for savage content dungeons than they are raids. Not that raids are bad. By the way, I'm still looking for people. I still need a raid group, so if anyone wants to... Sorry.
No, plug away.
No, I've been looking. I was in the Savage Raid group for the longest time, but they've disbanded.
Sucks.
So if anyone wants to adopt a Lalafell healer, we'll raid.
Man, that guy was hard.
That is why I've been struggling with it, because those tentacle things are just brutal.
Also, if anyone that's excited for the dungeons, remember that there will be no dungeon in 6.3.
Well, yeah, and that's actually when we were talking about, like, in terms of Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. I'm gonna back up. My life is low. How low can it go? Heal a potion. Yeah. And that's where it's like when we start talking about them redoing the I just never know like where I feel like they're gonna attack, and so I it's hard for me to be like, okay, yeah, they're attacking here. Oh no, we got an ad.
A second tentacle? Oh lordy. Okay.
Oh no, you're down. I'll see if I can't. Oh gosh.
There's no way.
Send help, anybody. We're in Reekwater. We're getting our ass kicked.
Hey there, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Oh, I'm down.
No.
I like how this like the game has like these kind of challenges. Let's see here. Nearest for the side, Reekwater, respawn. Maybe I'll make
I'll make a camp. What the rewards are gonna be for the for the dungeons.
That seems like a good idea.
You making a camp?
I'm gonna get a little bit closer, but yeah, I think I'll make a camp right next door to the.
Yeah, those things, man, they freaking hit so hard.
I think the objective is soloable. It's just surrounded by those silver platelet, pallet, whatever.
But yeah, I do wonder what the rewards are going to be for the dungeons.
Yeah, and that's going to be like because just do those then feel like you have to do those before you go into the next thing, because that's what I think causes a lot of stress on the WoW side of it. Like, oh, if I'm not hitting the mythics, then I'm not getting this or that. But that's where I was like, if it ends up being its own progression style system, then I think,
hope it's not equipment. I really don't.
I do hope it's not equipment. Like just make it. I don't know. It's gonna be neat.
Well, I should say, make it equipment, but make it cosmetic equipment. Like, make it look like very fancy, so that people that want will clear it to get the equipment if need be. Mm-hmm. But that's about it. Like, it shows you've done it. Like how you got Ultimate, where you got the shiny weapons. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. Look, I went into the Savage Dungeon, we cleared it, which will be. People seem to make it. It's going to be quite tough, I think, because you've got the enraged mechanics of the enemies. You've got the fact that you can't raise.
Right, and in the normal version, how anybody can raise, you have certain limited raising abilities, thus essentially giving black mages kind of like any kind of job more of the ability to come in and not feel like, well, this is our progression build and this is our farm build, you know. So it's like that I like, and all it kind of reminds me obviously of a little bit of the raising and self-healing kind of mentality earlier. All right, where are we heading now? Also, so Full says, honestly, I wish Rocksteady would have expanded their Batman games to other DC characters, like a game about Lex Luthor taking on an unhinged Superman in Metropolis. Oh, that would have been fun. They've struggled with Superman games. What's up, Robbie? Sorry if I didn't say hi. If you came in and I haven't said hi to you, you can always tag at Ginger Prime. Make sure you guys feel love. Feel the love.
I think that might have been it, which is frustrating, because if I'd just gone a little bit to the left to approach it, I could have walked. Well, I don't know if I could have walked in, because we killed a couple of those tentacles. But it's green. I'm going to see if that's the last step.
Woohoo!
And I think, like everyone, I'm really excited for Island Sanctuary.
Yeah, it's. I was like, that's something that's been very, very on people's minds. I was like, I really want them to knock that out of the park, because I just don't want. I don't want to deal with like the internet, like people of going like, it's not, you know, like, oh, it's like, come on, guys, like. He didn't. He
Brian,
just he showed us an image.
There's still, even with everything they announce right now and everything that comes out at launch, you're still going to get that comment.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh yeah.
Like, come on, guys, just have fun. Just have fun. Just find the fun. Just find the fun and figure it out.
There's only 20 types of rocks. I demand 25.
Okay. Play it, and then like feedback is definitely important, you know, for sure. Like in the July update, they're getting rid of the keys for the dungeons to enter into this game, but they have a daily limit of 15 dungeons, and the only feedback I have is that as long as, like, let's say I go ham and I do 15 dungeons, as long as I can still go in. If you're like, hey, I'm playing, you want to come? It's like, as long as it doesn't say, sorry, you've already done 15, you cannot. Which I think that's fine. I think that's how it's going to work. And then you have 25 weekly, like the mutated, like the M plus, you know, kind of system. And it's like, yeah, that sounds great. Like you start factoring in the amount of time It's like that's like you have to be like no lifing, but people are like, oh man, you know, like don't like feeling that restriction.
Also,
So, Shadow-
it also depends on how much of a slippery slope they go, because there are, you know how it is where, oh, you can only get 15 dungeons, but if you pay,
Yeah,
like,
that's one
I
of the
know
things
there's nothing
that's
like
so.
that right now, but
Well, and that's,
but, you
that's
know,
one of the
yeah.
funniest things about this game and the narrative, especially leading up to it. It's like how, like, you see these people just like, oh man, it's gonna be pay to win, and there's da 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 da, da, and then it's like, it's not, and then Lost Ark comes out, and it's totally that, and it's like, oh, who cares if it's pay to win? Like, I don't care. It's like, you know, it's like, all right, guys, let's just try to play. Let's be consistent across the board, and everything's gonna be good. Nanny, are you
Yeah,
able
that
to
is a
chat in
little
here? It shows you
frustrating.
muted. I just didn't want you to feel like.
Oh, I use toggle push to talk. Sorry.
I didn't know if that's. Is it forcing you to do that, or is that your choice? Oh, we'll find out. I see one because I was like, if it's forcing you, you shouldn't have to have that forced. Full with the tier 2 Vishap membership. Thank you so much, Full. For me and my wife, we really appreciate y'all's support. Also, just as an aside, if anybody gets a gifted sub, just know on YouTube it says you have to hit accept gift. So just want to always kind of set that aside. Thank you guys, and thank you, Full. Enjoy your badge, your emotes, your role in Discord, and yeah, wow, thank you. All right.
Hey, Brian, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. No, I use toggle push to talk. So sometimes it just says I'm muted, but that's just so you don't hear my living room.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like this Discord was forcing that, because like I was like, no, you're cool, man. You're totally cool.
I'm just a Destiny player trying to play new.
Yeah, I know. Like I gotta let go of the controller to press this button, and then yes, and that's actually you've done 2 months of support. That it also is like I cannot wait till YouTube updates its live chat functionality, because right now, like if you are a member, you have to click on the $ to say, oh, send my free membership monthly what like badge thing. It's like, come on, guys, come on, YouTube. They're figuring it out. It's gonna be a slow rollout. I think by the time 2025 rolls around, they'll be at like maybe Twitch 12 features. All right, where are we heading next, Carmack?
It's by Twitch.
I don't know. That completed my quest.
Do you want to go do some weapon XP farming?
Absolutely.
All right. We have a couple camps. What's everybody's level in the group?
I'm 33 right now.
Oh, then let's go to the 25 spot, because that'll be perfect. Because then that way you'll be able to survive rather than take you into like a higher end zone. It's gonna be Deadman's Cove. You want to look for the Monarch's Bluffs, and you want to teleport to the Dead Scythe Lookout. Do you have that, Nanny?
I believe I do, but I'm just finishing up a quest in this like fort thing.
I'm teleporting to it now so you can see me on the map.
Yeah. So if there's oh my, thanks guys for the 8 likes on this stream. Boom, baby.
Now, let's see. What weapons am I going to level right now?
I'm going Warhammer and Great Axe, because essentially my thought is that as I look at my weapon mastery tree, I finished all the single hands. I've gotten spear done. If I can take Great Axe and Great Hammer to 20, then all my two-handed weapons are done, and that will set me up perfectly for this fall when the Great Sword drops. I love this game so much. Like I'm like, oh man, I really hope that the game continues to game. I everything I've been told, everything I've heard, everything that I've seen, I'm like, yeah, this game's gonna have a really good life. But you know, at the same time, my cynic in me goes like, yeah, you never know. What's up, Skyfire? This is New World. It is on Steam PC. It is an MMORPG. Also, guys, if you're a Phantasy Star fan, just note that Phantasy Star actually 2 is coming to PlayStation finally in August. I think that's gonna be a really good win.
Yeah.
So I'll be jumping back into some Phantasy Star Online 2, probably here in a week or two, just to kind of get leveled up and caught up.
Yeah, because both New Genesis and the original are coming to PS4.
Oh, finally in the West, man. So it was on PS4 in Japan, and I hope that this means that Xbox is getting Phantasy Star Online 2 in the West in Japan, because it's like it's in Japan. You can play it, but it's only on PlayStation. So hopefully this is good.
The craziest part about it was that there was a version out before that in Japan that actually had English.
Yeah.
But the whole thing was in English. So yeah.
Ooh, yes. Persona 5, and that's also coming to Steam as well. So like honestly, people are like, "Oh, it's coming to Xbox." I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play it." I might actually get it on because it's also coming to Steam, and because of the Steam Deck, I might actually just pick it up on Steam Deck. You know, like I'm assuming it runs on Steam Deck because one of the streams I want to do, and I don't know when I'm gonna do it yet, but I'm gonna play through Final Fantasy VII R. I have it on Steam. I just haven't had a chance to play it. Like the last 2 weeks have been just insane for me. Like a lot of family stuff, a lot of work actually, which is good because. Like all in all, like I did not work much of June until this last week, so I was able to actually make a little bit of money, which was good because it's like, yay.
I'm so excited for part 2. I can't wait.
So so I was like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and stream it because I want to play 7. 7 was so important for me. I don't know if anybody ever had this, y'all had this experience, but 7 was like kind of one of the first times I actually felt like normal as a kid because I was always into the Final Fantasy games. But nobody else really was. I also like Street Fighter. Like I'm not like, oh my gosh, like he just only likes Final Fantasy. But no, like I was like, oh, and then all of a sudden, like all the guys on the baseball team are now playing Final Fantasy VII. Like this is insane. Like that was such a cool experience to kind of like yeah, I've always enjoyed these games, and all of a sudden they're like, this is amazing. I'm like, I know, like it was definitely a nice feeling.
So
we didn't really have that experience here. Sorry, carry on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, for me, it was kind of similar. Where when I was like younger, I'd be at like summer camps or whatever.
Yeah.
Like daycare summer camp style.
Yeah.
And like there'd be an old computer, and there'd always be like a crowd of kids playing like Final Fantasy 1 or 2 on the computer. Mm-hmm. And then like later on, when I finally got a PS2, I was able to. My first Final Fantasy at that point was the Dirge of Cerberus.
Oh wow!
So that was my introduction. That was my introduction to Final Fantasy, like properly. That was really weird, but I was also the red and black all like edgy kid, so it kind of worked out.
Edgy boy. I love it. Yeah, I think it's going to PS5, right?
Yeah, which means I'm going to buy the game again.
Nice. I'm excited. I'm so excited for it.
But
like, I think this is gonna be really good, so I'm gonna plan on playing that, etc. Do I have any plans for 4th of July? Yes, actually. In fact, later today we're gonna go down to Fort Worth, and there's apparently a baby shower that I'm going to tonight. Woo! I don't care. But it's like we're gonna go, and then tomorrow we're gonna be going over to my my wife's aunt's house that we normally do. We're gonna blow up a piece of the world, there's like fireworks and stuff. So I got the boys' haircuts today, so they're looking freaking handsome as get out. They look great with it, like because their hair's just just like all right. Like I just kind of do it secondarily, and today I got them, and so they're looking really good. So hopefully we'll be able to get some good pictures with them and the family tomorrow. But and then on the 4th officially, we're gonna hit up the town parade. Maybe if the kids are being good, which is never know. Like as a parent, you just sometimes got to just play it by ear. You're like, today's a good day. We're gonna go do fun things, or not. So we'll hit up the parade, and if the kids are doing well, then maybe we'll hit up. I'll take them to lunch or something like that. And then if they're not, then we'll just come home and eat mac and cheese and hot dogs. So it's really up to them. Oh man, I got smacked. Great Axe 12, baby.
Well, wait, for those who are a fan of Persona, I don't know how true this is exactly yet, but supposedly there's going to be an announcement for the sequel in October.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So Persona 6 is supposed to be being announced in October during the concert, because they've got a special concert going on live. So
that'll be interesting. If it's anything like how well the past games have done, I don't foresee any problem with it.
Yeah.
And not that I'm just gonna keep
it to be exclusive again. Just a heads up.
I'm gonna keep the invites rolling out. So if you guys are just hanging out on live stream, thank you so much. If you want to weigh in and just kind of hang out in voice chat, this is all are welcome. You just either have a semi decent mic or you know, like don't curse up a storm, you know, in that regards. But like you, and if you ever feel like intimidated, please don't. Like, we're just a bunch of chill guys. Like that the idea is just like, I love playing and talking and whatnot. And also, like, I know YouTube probably does appreciate the chat support. So I see Chili actually answering questions in chat, which is really nice. So I appreciate you, Chili.
No problem.
But yeah, oh, and then speaking of though the dungeons, like the for 14, we will absolutely be doing that because this Tuesday, data center visit, baby. And I know we're not going to have like, you know, the European side of it, but you know, Chili already has a NA character. Holy crap, this is going to be so great. This is gonna be so great. Yeah, use command Discord. It's like the pound, it's the exclamation mark, and then the type Discord, and the bot will give it to you. Or it's also in the description, so.
If it works.
Yeah, so I always want everybody to know that y'all are completely welcome to come hang out. Like, it's, you know, you do not feel like you have to be like, you know, and some people do and they don't even chat. They just like the more in real time, you know, aspect. So, but I know some people do feel intimidated. So it's also whenever I'm playing and not streaming, usually I'll just let people know I'm like, hey, I'm just hanging out, not live. So, because I know sometimes people like, I know if Yamron shows up, he's always like, my voice always sounds weird. It's like, I get that. Like, it took me a long time before I actually liked the sound of my voice recorded.
I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years and I still hate my voice, so.
Sometimes it's a real grind. Sometimes it's like, you got to get 25 years in here, you know? After 25 years.
You sound like a big boss, baby.
You're like, oh, hell yeah. I'm going to decline that part.
Last night, I worked out, right? I worked out last night that if I don't include guest appearances, right? You know, when I've been on other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
I've recorded one every 4 days for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I haven't actually done one every 4 days, but just the amount I've done would have counted as 1 in 4 days. And yeah, I still hate my voice, so don't worry. Sometimes you just still hate your own voice.
Yeah. Island Sanctuary is going to be so like awesome for cozy streams, you know? Like when I think of like Moody Moomba and like other cozy streamers, you know, it's like, yeah, like I think that's Island Sanctuary is going to be great. I'm getting some audio fragments though. Fox. There we go.
Let's see.
Boom.
Yeah, I plan to stream a lot of Island Sanctuary if I'm honest.
Oh yeah, I think Island Sanctuary is going to be really interesting to see because it's also very sandboxy, right? Because it's like, it sounded like I was like, oh, they're putting Minecraft in here. This would be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You got Minecraft.
I was wondering, what they just said New World. So I'm like, does this mean like you're going to New World, or no?
Sorry, what's up?
I thought when they said New World, I thought you was like going to a new world. I'm like, that's why I asked what game it was.
Oh, I got you now. I was just like, no, it's the MMO by Amazon. Yeah. I love this game, man. Just like I love open world mob farming, and if they end up like just a few adjustments, like would make this game just absolutely like sing for me. Because I was sitting here when I was talking with him, like if I just pull up my map of like, yeah, there's level 60 quests, but I have all these quests that I just don't do, and it's because I'm like, that XP is just gonna hit the floor. I'm like, I'm gonna hold on. I'm not gonna do that quest yet. Hey, is Peanut Butter Jelly time here? Hey, what's up, Peanut Butter? I didn't see you come in, man. Oh, Goldmane, nice.
Do people ever hang out in Cutlass Keys at all?
In terms of like just chilling, yeah, I actually do a lot of running, faction missions out in Cutlass Keys because I love the look of it.
See, that's my thing. I've just been loving this. I'm about to level out of it, but I have my house here, so I was wondering if I'll ever come back.
I specifically actually bought my third house in Cutlass Keys because I was looking at it also.
It's a fun spot.
Oh, it's a great spot. Like, I love the aesthetic. I gotta zoom in because I'm getting lost as this loop goes. Yeah.
I finally found you guys, but I did not have the closest thing to you, so I just had to run in.
Were you able to grab the teleport spot?
No. I realized the faster way to run would take me away from that, so I just ran it.
There is a camp, or at least make sure you set a camp outside the fire spot, because these things will murder you.
Oh yeah, it's all good. Zoom. Cutlass keys. It reminds me of
Yeah.
lands in World of Warcraft.
Like that's one of the things that like I've always struggled. Like I've never been able to get into WoW, and it's just like,
yeah, I
and it
totally
is
agree.
it's so popular, and I'm like, nah.
I know you tried
Yeah.
just like I did with Shadowlands.
I tried. It's fun in with people. Like when I was playing like with Chris and with y'all, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can see the appeal. But then it's like all of a sudden I just found myself constantly solo, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm not a fan of that. And then I was like,
that's not. I agree with that. That's the same way I didn't like WoW, and then I got into Final Fantasy Realm Reborn. And I'm like, oh, this is better.
yeah, I like.
But I skipped
I
the
definitely
boss.
have a preference for Final Fantasy, hands down. But
Yeah.
I think essentially though, like when like you look at how it's evolved, that's why I'm so excited for the next like phase of it, because I'm like I've kind of always felt like there's just like the end game has just been like I level and then I kind of wait to go to leveling again, and so now I'm hoping that the new Criterion dungeons end up kind of satisfying that, because I actually enjoyed the raids of Alexander and Bahamut. And then it's like and then the raids just became like trial fights, and I'm like, all right. Like, did we get to Nanny? Oh, are you up here in the tower? Okay.
I think I rock climbed my way into a problem.
Okay, I'm coming to you.
I'll be honest, I'm fine with them being trial fights for Savage mode, but I wish they would add a little bit of trash and story for normal. Like,
I could see
the
that.
Savage,
I could see that where you're like, okay, we're just getting down to business.
Like, just make you spawn right in front of the boss encounter in Savage, because you're not really wanting to spend every time let's just say you wipe 3 or 4 times, you're not wanting to run across through kill all the trash just to get to the boss.
Yeah.
So maybe make it so normal has some story elements, and then the Savage mode is just the fight.
I don't think they even need to do that now though with Criterion. Like it's like all of a sudden it's like that for because let's say you don't like that kind of content, like it's not like we had to sacrifice. I'm getting a lot of feedback from Fox.
15 of it is for
I'm gonna,
release.
1 second.
Okay. She didn't put online orders flat, so when you're there.
There, I'll just mute him. There we go. All right, cool.
Yeah,
Can
there's a lot
y'all
of
still hear
background
Fox?
noise.
A little bit, but I kind of.
Okay. I self-muted, so just let it when he comes back. Just let him know, like either probably go into push to talk or something like that.
All good. Is this place like all elite mobs?
Yes.
Okay, I thought I had rock climbed my way into like the boss of the.
No problem.
These are all elites. You're gonna get so much experience. This is gonna be fun. And then Full says,
once
my
again,
voice.
Brian-
Go ahead.
Foxy's about to leave, just a heads up.
Okay. Let's see here. I'll unmute him.
A nickname.
Hey Fox, you about to bounce out?
Yeah, I gotta bounce down. I gotta do something for my cousin.
All right, man. Have a great day,
Thank you
dude.
for inviting me.
Hey, no problem. Talk to you soon, dude.
All right, talk to
See you later.
All right, we got Nanny on the first floor.
I dropped back down for a chest.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
You're good. You're good. I think it's safe for you to be able to run up here. Perfect. Yeah, there's a great little loop.
I've ever seen.
Oh, dude, like that's what like this game. I always feel like the open world is really populated, especially obviously during the XP weekends and stuff. And that's where I hope that they don't disincentivize that. And I think that's where obviously we're seeing limitations being put. Wait, Nanny's a part of.
Brad.
Hey, you're
Sorry,
here.
I
Let me
just ran
invite
by
you.
you.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, I know you. There we go. Invite sent. Perfect. 4-man team. Let's break some mobs. Yeah, and then if y'all, it'll be interesting if we get how far we get Nanny leveled, because we get into the 40s, and if this place ends up just being still too crowded, there's a couple other like open world, like 'cause basically this is an open world dungeon.
What? Oh.
So they have-
I was like, wait, how deep is this thing?
It goes for a while. Like there's instance dungeons, which are I think amazing, and then you have the open world ones, and I'm like, let's keep both things going.
I do hope, I know this sounds weird, but I do hope Island Sanctuary has instance dungeons. Not instance, I mean open world dungeons, like to explore. Because we know that you've got creatures you can capture, like, and some of those can be shiny. So it'd be interesting to see if they have like caves and stuff like that that you can go down and find like bonus resources.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. Uh-oh. Did you accept a random invite from somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Unfortunately.
I was like, oh yeah, somebody else. Let me just invite you back. There we go.
Yeah.
The only reason why I got the idea is because of how big the map is.
The map seems really
Like,
big.
they showed how big. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then that's not even
Did you see how
considering.
big it is compared to a Rogadin?
Yeah.
I remember this is only the first map.
Yeah.
There is going to be 2. So. Yeah, you can. There's going to be 2 islands if I'm rightly. So. I think one's later on, because remember they said they're updating it with each patch, so it's not like you'll get everything straight.
Right.
Well, you get all the stuff they announced, but there's more stuff planned.
The way it read to me is it looks like it's going to be one island, but the areas of the island are going to be introduced and released piecewise.
Also,
I may have misinterpreted.
Yeah.
for those of you also for the loots and things that they were getting from this place, just remember that with the July update, there's the new salvaging system coming in, and that's going to feed you like some really cool stuff. So I would highly recommend not salvaging anything until after the July update. So just like put it in storage and then wait till July drops and then start your salvaging. Unless you need the repair parts. Like that's the only thing. That would be the only kind of carve out.
Unless they do like I think Destiny did it at one point where they added salvaging parts, but it was only after that date.
Yeah. They like, okay, everything here, dropped, and that very well could be the reality, but they haven't kind of led that.
No, they haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, because I've salvaged stuff that was already on my character on the PTR, and that seemed to work just fine.
Okay, nice.
That's a question, Carlinzo. Will Thavnerian onions become easier?
No.
And the answer probably is no. Like,
Because
like they said the gardening,
sold, right? So
yeah, and they also said the gardening is different from estate, and I was like,
Yeah.
But then we also are at Thavner, and will onions become more accessible at some point? I don't know.
I still wish they'd been locked behind the tribal quests. Like, I know that would still make them rare, but imagine if they were like,
you could make them super expensive behind that. Like you could say like, yeah, it's going to take you like a couple weeks worth of the currency, to buy one.
Well, what I could have just done is just lock it behind the last tier, which not many people get because most people get the mount and stop.
Yeah.
Because there's actually a tier after the mount.
Yeah, the Bloodsworn or whatever it's called.
Yeah, they could have put it on that tier, and then, as you said, make it. I think a week's worth would have been fine. Like a week, if you do a week's worth, you should be able to afford one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do anything with that system. Like my Chocobo's been capped for a very long time, so I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, I would like to see it continue on, but I get that not everything can.
I'm still sad we never got a Magitech companion.
Oh yeah, it would have been nice to have like a deeper companion system. I would like like then all of a sudden start factoring in like the Gambit system or more, because they talked about that in the past.
Oh yeah.
So that might still be a part of the design plan at some point in the future.
I mean, no, it's because when 2.0 was being like talked about, there was talks of having the Magitech be a companion alongside the Chocobo.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why it got its own personality in the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because that feels kind of strange that this one robot has like
a little personality,
a connection with you for no reason.
I wouldn't mind walking around with
reason,
Magitech armor, like that actually was like fighting with me,
Yeah. Well, it has a reason, but it kind of it's strange.
Oh, Maggie. I was wondering what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maggie was originally going to be like a companion, like your Chocobo, and will battle beside you, but that got scrapped.
Oh yeah, okay. That explains why they would build things up, and then there's that little extra quest to re-enable her guns, and then it stops.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm gonna run over and get the travel point so I don't have to run so far next time.
Yeah, That travel
I
point
did
is a must.
I forgot.
All right, now that I got my voice thing fixed, I had mine on push to talk, and I'm just trying to tank a dungeon at the same time, so I can't really talk.
All right, Nanny's heading that way. Just killing these mobs. Oh yeah, there's some out here. Oh yeah. Oh.
But yeah, overall for the, I know it's going back a little bit back into the discussion, but for the patch, I can't wait for the world travel thing. That's gonna be real fun. Hopefully my one buddy will be able to come back and play.
So a werewolf, I'm gonna what a great name. What a great name. That is, I love that. Ask, is there matchmaking for dungeons yet? So in the July update, they're adding in a party finding system in which that you can make listings for people to join and run dungeons. So they're removing keys as of next, well, actually it is July. So whenever the update goes, I would assume mid to late July that's going to go live. We're also getting a new dungeon, but no, there's not going to be auto matchmaking aware. And the reason, and actually personally speaking, I'm fine with that, because when it comes down to match-made PvE content, you end up having, it's a very expensive thing in terms of what you actually get. And what I mean by that is that in terms of matchmaking, you end up running into a cost of that you have to make content that is clearable by people who get matched in. Otherwise, you end up getting a lot of people frustrated, a lot of people angry. So imagine if all of a sudden you got matched with somebody who had a build that would never be able to clear the boss. And so ultimately, you're now just wasting your time to get that clear. So you can make dungeon content then clearable by everybody, but ultimately you end up seeing a lot of people then complain that content is very, very dull and boring. And so, you know, the question is do we want boring, dull dungeons, or do we want, and I think the solution is the party finding system, where you can sit here and say, yeah, like I'm looking for somebody, you know, and you can make these listings rather than having to do shouts. So that actually is what's coming in July, along with the new dungeon and a lot of really good updates. Oh, drop down. We're going to kill these guys. A lot of really good updates, with the the upgrades to salvaging and more. Like I'm really excited. They have if you haven't seen, I posted a video over on Ginger Gaming World, and they're adding in musical instruments, and you can actually level up your musical instruments as a trade skill and apply buffs by playing music. And so I'm just like, oh heck yes. Like, they're doing some really exciting fun things. The next big update, I would almost kind of guess that we would see it sometime around the 1-year anniversary of the game, where we're going to see the Great Axe, new zone, new dungeon, and more systems coming in, more quality of life features and things like that. So all in all, I think the game is actually getting really, really good. And if you haven't played it in a while, Aware, you know, it's free to, you already own it. So I would assume that you can just update and you can check it out. It's a heck of a lot of fun, and I'm really excited for the, I haven't done the new dungeon yet on the PTR, namely because it came out and I was really, really busy, and I was like, okay, I'll get to that. So I'm hoping I can go jump on the PTR and go play on the new Barnacles and Black Powder expedition. And yeah, I'm personally really excited. I think the group finder thing is also going to be nice, because if I'm able to say like, yay, I'm looking to do this dungeon, I can kind of run around and put that listing up, and I'm not having to sit here and, you know, try to spam chat like, hey, looking for this, or we're trying to do that. So I think it's going to give me a lot of flexibility, but I haven't gone onto the PTR to test that tool yet. But yeah, the musical instruments, guys, it is just cool. In that it's a trade skill, that it's like, oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting thing to add. And then it ends up being a rhythm music game that the better you do, the better the buffs that you can apply onto people are, and people can give you tips. So you toss a coin to your bard, baby. So anyway, I'm thrilled. The thing I liked about it, what I said I liked most about the that aspect, is not just the fact that it's this new skill that you can level up, but it's also it was a surprise, because they did not include that on the roadmap. They did not come and say, hey, we're adding musical instruments to the game. They said, hey, we added musical instruments to the game, and we're like, what? What's up, Yamron? We were talking about you a little while ago. All good things, though. How long am I streaming today? I have absolutely, like, I think we're gonna head out to Fort Worth here around 2 p.m. Central. So I would assume at least another hour. you know, my streams don't end up being that long. I was talking with my brother about it. I was like, you know, tip of the hat to those, like, to people who do like these, like, you know, 12-hour streams. That is just definitely not who I am.
Yeah, 12 hours is just crazy.
Like, and then it's still people who do 8s and like, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, after about 2 hours, I'm like usually going like, okay, we'll find an exit point. I'm gonna go. And that's also generally how I play video games anyway. Like, rarely am I like, oh, I got 4 hours of uninterrupted time. It does happen, which is nice.
I try to do 4 to 5. That's what I try to do. But
PB, are you in Fort Worth? I'm not gonna do that today because I have the kids. But holy smokes, if we got a Texas, we might have to do kind of a little community, you know, drink night, meet up at a place and have a drink or whatever.
Ah, cool. I said yes.
Oh, hell yeah. I did not know that, PB. And if you said that to me, it did not mentally register. What's up, Scenic? How you doing, man? How is your day going? I don't know how, like, about y'all, but I find like open world leveling, that guy's retreating. What a coward. I find this like such a relaxing content. Like I literally, like, this is how I am on MMO'd, like, growing up. It wasn't like, you know, like, yeah, it's like just find a great spot, run around, kill enemies. You know, like, if y'all want to do a dungeon, I'll go do a dungeon. You know, it's like, but it's just like, cool. We're just freaking grinding. I love it. It's so relaxing to me as a gamer. Oh, delivering some pizzas.
Someone is shocked that you have a secondary channel. Just you've got 2, right? Just
I
2.
got 10.
Yes.
I have 10.
220.
Well, at some point, maybe. Like, it's it is so nice. Like, what ends up being, like, it's a lot of work up front. I'm not gonna lie. It's not like, but it all ties into the question of, like, do I really feel connected? Because when it comes down to it, like, just in terms of, like, being that I talk about, like, I love Final Fantasy, I love New World, like, there's these games, but, like, you might love Final Fantasy and not like New World. You might love New World and not like Final Fantasy. And so what ends up happening is that the algorithm just cannot figure that out. It cannot figure out, like, oh, so this gamer likes this game, this gamer likes this game. And so what happens is it just shows my video, and if it was one that you didn't like, it hurts me. So I get all these reports on Ginger Prime, like, less people are actually interested in this topic. It's like, I know that people are interested in this topic, but it's the people it's showing it to don't. And so then it's like, well, maybe we just won't show it to others. Like, and then it's like, okay. So having that,
and even if it's this,
go ahead.
Sorry.
No,
even
you're
if
good.
it's the same franchise, that can cause problems as well.
It is a struggle. It can be, yeah.
I'm going to shout out to Mione. Mione did a Final Fantasy 7 playthrough on his channel.
Oh, and he got so much hate for it.
Yeah, it took him months to get, like, the revenue back from YouTube because it made a major hit on his entire channel.
Yeah.
Because of it.
And so, like, like, I like being able to talk about what I want. And so that's where I was like, well, that's what I'm going to have Prime do. But I also like covering. And the nice thing is that I can go, and I made a 3-minute news post on New World yesterday. And I can't, and it's like, I know algorithmically, like, especially a year ago, I can't go make a 3-minute video on Ginger Prime because that video is not going to do well. And then it's going to, you know, it's going to hurt the next video. And so the next, like, and so it only, I think, incentivizes those, you know, the standard YouTube stuff that gamers get frustrated at, like oh my God, this is the most insane thing. I can't believe this. Blah, blah. And it's just like, it becomes the incentive system, and the structure is ultimately broken. So what I've looked at and what the numbers tend to prove now is that now I can go and make that 3-minute video because that's like, the YouTube will know where to put it. And so it doesn't have to, like, be sensationalized. It can literally just be the information, and it could just be a good 3-minute video, you know, and it doesn't have to be like, well, how do I make it 6 minutes? Because if it's not 6 minutes, then the algorithm's not going to like it because it's not going to get the watch time, you know. No, it gives me a lot more freedom to do what I want. But granted, let's say if I was a reviewer, like right now I was talking with ACG yesterday, but he was also talking about him and what him and Skillet were talking about. Right now, it's like, they're all like getting hurt. Like, you know, it's like the numbers overall are down. It can be frustrating. And it's like, yeah, like y'all do variety in terms of reviews. So that's absolutely kind of the thing that's going to be a challenge. Like, I like to sit in a game. I like to sit here and just consume a game. And I'm not going to consume it like, you know, Asmon. I don't have that kind of time. But I'm going to consume it over a longer period of time. I'm going to have that nice, like, you know, like kind of that nice, like even killed, enjoyable experience throughout. And yeah, and then so ultimately I asked the question, like, if I'm really passionate about that game, will I go through the pain points of making, you know, a channel that allows me to focus just in on that information? If the answer is yes, then you'll see me create a new channel.
Well, you're not going to sit here for 7 hours reacting and then play 5 minutes and then
and then rage against the people who are mad that you didn't play the game you said you were going to play. Yeah.
Well, at the same time, I see people who backseat drive on my content, and it's like, I get it. Everybody's welcome to have an opinion, but when the answer to me, like when the answer is simple, just watch somebody else, or in the case or wait till wait till he uploads it on YouTube. Like, I just don't see like that level of frustration, being that that's his track record, right? Like if this was the first time he's ever done that, we lost somebody. Then I could see that, but I was like, you know, like at the end of the day,
I made a response because of your response. So, but I my view on it, I'm going to bring this up here. My view on it was the fact that it was WoW content. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I do want to highlight Scenic's latest comment. It's a really good one. But go ahead, Chili. I want you to finish your thought, and then we'll come back to this.
But my view is the fact that he is mainly a WoW content creator. As much as we love him playing other games, he played WoW for the longest time. Yeah. And I know he did a lot of React, and he promised Final Fantasy 14 content, and he didn't deliver that. But who else would have thought that an expansion pre-order announcement would have dropped right then? Like, it would have been weird for him not to have switched content to WoW, because the fact that he was a WoW content creator beforehand, his main thing is WoW. He mostly plays WoW. Well, he doesn't play it right now, but he mostly played WoW. Yeah. So when there being something, it'll be like if Final Fantasy 4. It's like if I was playing, I was going to play.
If Final Fantasy 14 announced right now that they were coming to Xbox, sorry guys, like I would stop what I was doing, and especially because that's something that really means a lot to me. And the same thing, like if I was playing Final Fantasy and all of a sudden New World announced they're coming to Xbox, be like, hold on, guys, like I want to talk about this. And but that's the driving seat factor right now. Like, let's say, you know, they made another game was announced that I'm like, I've never heard of it, you know, and then I'm stopping to cover it, like everything. Like, no, like I generally go off the pure fine rule. Like, I have to have it like a level of passion and excitement for something. Otherwise it just feels forced. Like, I'm like, that's where it's like, you know, like I'll cover news that I find generally interesting, but then it's like, I don't cover every news story because I just don't have that level of, like, you know, again, I don't want to sit here and start sensationalizing it. Like, I don't.
Sorry about that.
If you want to ask my opinion about something, you're always welcome to, and I'll talk about that. But like, generally speaking, I'm excited about PSO2. The only reason I didn't make a video on it yesterday is I was exhausted. Like, I was just like, and so instead of making a video, I went and played with the kids. Like, I went outside, we turned on the sprinklers, we played outside for 3 hours. And I thought that was a better use of my time. I might make a video on PSO2 on Monday, you know, and I don't, whether it does well or it doesn't matter. PSO2 is coming to PlayStation, you know, here in the West, finally in August. So that's the news. I put out a community post on it, but Scenic says, I like how is such a small creator so good at churning out content? And I try not to hide it. I just, is like, you know, it's like, I'm just like, this is kind of what I do. I really enjoy making videos. And the nice thing about it, you know, also back to the multi-channel, is I don't have to post, because generally speaking, I can probably make 1 to 2 videos a day fairly easy. You know, like there's a lot to cover. Now the guides and things like that, they take me a lot more time, I think, as they should. And so, but like if news comes out that I feel like I want to talk about, generally speaking, on average, I can at least make 1 or 2 videos a day. And the fact that I've got multiple channels, I can decide like where that makes the most sense. So I don't have to sit here and post on, you know, Final Fantasy every day, especially when there's no news to talk about or no, you know, like, all right, like I'll just keep working on the guide. And so you actually can kind of see that on the channel. Like I posted on the Warrior controller guide, and then it was like, okay. And then it's like 2 weeks later, and then my next video is there. It's like, I don't have to have that like constant need to like, I got to hit publish every day. And this is because I do hit publish, but I can actually say like, oh, I really actually want to talk about that. And I think overall that just makes me happier. I'm just I'm enjoying content creation way more. Because I feel like also I don't have to like hustle so hard in terms of like, all right, I know I posted a video that isn't doing well, but I think it's a really good video. Now I got to be like, tweet it. Now I got to like, okay, hey guys, don't forget to check this out. But yeah.
And remember to hit the like button.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks for the 18
And
likes.
subscribe.
Good memory there. Like, subscribe, please. Please like and subscribe.
Nice to meet you, Board fan, and also thank you for the follow. You followed earlier.
Yeah, thank you, Board. Board is great. We have a lot of good conversations. I think I'm hopefully going to be able to like, we're going to do kind of a collab because we're going to talk about like MMO payment models, you know, and things like that. Because I think there's definitely some room that the industry can go in that will open up MMOs a little bit more.
Oh, they do. Let me go give them a follow.
Well, thanks for subscribing, Scenic. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Nah, I think it was so, man, some guy called me a liar yesterday because it's like, he's like, you're a liar. I was like, what? And they're like, your gameplay is garbage. It's like, I was like, all right, well, I mean, if y'all don't know,
Where's the
like,
lie?
well, what I choose to do, I don't highlight my best moments. Like if I get killed or if I make a mistake, I show that off. And he's like, and I was like, yeah, there's two reasons. A, I think it's honest. B, it generates more comments and it actually benefits the video. Like it just does, because no matter what, there's going to be people like that will come in on a video and they'll be like, man, you suck. Your gameplay sucks. Thanks for the comment, man. Like, it's like, that is algorithmic support. I appreciate that. And so it's like, yeah, honestly, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to sit here and he's like, you're a liar. I was like, how am I a liar? It's like, you said that like you use this stuff and it's, yeah, I can see that clearly you're not a good player. It's like, whether you think I'm a good player or not, like that's your choice. That's your opinion. But no, like I would consider myself a liar if I just literally showed only my best plays and greatest moments, because then you would come on a live stream and you'd be like, oh, clearly he missed that, or he didn't land that headshot. Like I view that as what I would consider lying. But it was a weird conversation with a random internet troll. I guess maybe we would define them as that. But it's like, come on, people. The internet's full of interesting opinions. All right, so we do know it takes 3 videos in your feed for Scenic to subscribe. Now I just need to find more people like him. All right, guys.
Fluke, you know, once or twice, but the third time I was like, ooh.
Oh, and he's here in chat. Hell yeah.
Once, twice, 3 times a subscriber? Is that how it works?
And he's got a killer voice, man. Hopefully you don't mind me compliment the sound of your voice. Very soothing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. We should just him and I just do a what was a baritone podcast? Great Axe 14. Hell yeah,
Nice.
man. Yes. I might get to 15 and then it's just like focus on Great Hammer and then see where we're at in terms of time wise. I might also do another stream on the 4th. So like I said, we're gonna do the parade and I'm gonna spend time with the family, and maybe if they go down for a nap, because the double XP goes all the way till like, you know, Tuesday morning, maybe then I'll jump on and we'll do a stream, get some more XP. Are you playing New World right now, Scenic?
I actually am.
Yeah.
Your video. So I commented on the first video that I watched from you, and your video was the reason why I came back to the game.
Welcome back, dude. Welcome the heck back. So, all right.
Thank you.
Now I need to know. Like, we're gonna have a real conversation, because, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm always aware. Like, I want to always be aware of my personal bias. But you took. When did you stop? And how long have you been away? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No. That's question 1, and then we'll go to then there will be follow-ups.
So I stopped about I want to say 5 days into release.
Yeah, that's a good time to stop. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely, after I stopped, I thought about wanting to come back, but it was a combination. Primarily, I didn't have a lot of time in real life to dedicate to an MMO.
Yeah.
And then after all the mayhem of dupes and scandal, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get involved in this game.
Yeah, that really, like, despite like all that though, like the game still held on to a lot of people. Like when you actually see the biggest player drop is when the game was coming out, I look at it, I go, there's about 4.5 months worth of content at launch. And because of, I think, all of the dupes and issues, they had to go focus in on that rather than making new content. So once really people kind of like, oh yeah, they hit 60, they've done the content, they've geared up, then there really wasn't a lot left to kind of like, oh, I'm gonna stick around and do all this stuff. So that's actually when I think
we cleared it up.
It'll respawn here in a second. I'm just finding treasure chests that I missed. And so I saw that kind of as the biggest dip. So you've been gone. So you're 5 days in, you dip out. It makes perfect sense. What do you think about the game now? So you've been away almost at least 6-7 months, right? So what do you think about the game now, and where do you want to see what do you want to see them do with the game now that you're back?
To be honest, I'm a little bit flabbergasted because I had followed the game. I was also like both an alpha from the previous year and also a beta tester. So I'd been hands-on with the game quite a bit before release, and I understood the vision of the game, and they were so like hard stuck to that that the very convenience of like cross town storage just like blows my mind. I used it yesterday and I was like, wait,
nice.
What?
Yeah.
I was very happy. I was very, very happy with the quality of life improvements. I haven't done any dungeons yet. I've just been open world leveling, but the leveling experience, probably because of the XP, but everything just feels a lot smoother, a lot nicer. It doesn't feel like I'm wasting a lot of my time anymore.
Yeah, they've definitely improved the quality of life. Now, that being said, like what is it that you think that you're looking for doing, or would you like to see them do? Because like you brought up something where it's like the fact that they are doing this quality of life, like that's actually what I've viewed as a big strength of the game, is that you actually have devs that are like, they're listening, they're communicating. And if they can't do something right away, they're like, well, we can't do this right away, but we're looking into it. So it just feels like it's a very good like relationship with the developers behind the game. So like if there's things that you're like, oh man, I really want, like I'd only encourage you to like hit escape, go up here, I think it's under menu, and then say submit feedback, and then be like, this is what I want, send. And that's actually one of the things I like, anybody watching this vid or this VOD or hanging out in chat, if you guys have not done this, like even if you're not actively playing the game, update it, jump in, tell them what you want. I would do it here. You can also do it on the forums, but they also say this is a really good tool, so they can kind of get a good understanding of who you are better as a player and how you've actually played New World. This is a really good tool, so please be sure to send that feedback to the devs, because I think that's going to help make a better game overall. Because my fear is that I'm the only one providing feedback, and I don't like, as much as I like the idea, I'd rather them to have more voices to kind of come up with maybe like something that just generally is maybe better, or something that I haven't think about. Hey, congrats, level 34. Congrats, Nanny. Anyway, welcome back. I'm so glad that in some way that I've had help with that. It sounds like you haven't regretted the return yet. So
I'm really enjoying my time, and I'm really appreciating the double XP as well.
Oh yeah. Oh dude. Yeah. I was like, I've been farming. I love open world farming, and I'm glad that the double XP isn't like on all the time. It kind of makes it to where it's like, oh guys, yeah, double XP, let's go do that. And then it's like, I'm hoping that we'll see them, bring that in, like, whether it's like a once a season kind of, kind of event, or, something like that. I think once a season, or at least once every 6 weeks, ends up kind of being like, pretty enjoyable. Because otherwise, if it's all the time, then you're like, I'm not going to play now because I'm just going to play tomorrow,
Yes.
I hope personally that, I got some great X skill points. Hold on.
By the way, someone called Kyle asked earlier, they've downloaded Outriders from Game Pass. Have you got any tips?
The best way to play Outriders Yeah, don't use cover, man. I like I would anything like the Technomancer is a lot of fun because it heals by doing damage, but just understand how your class heals, and that will make like all the experience better. Actually, I finally was able to start playing some World Slayer the other day because I tried to play at launch and I was like, yeah, I did not want me to do it. Yeah, it finally came out.
Oh, sick.
Pull closer. Adds grit to heavy attacks. Also triples the damage reduction when grit is active. I'm just looking over here. When you block an attack with Great Axe, gain 5% damage. Oh, hell yeah. Let's grab that.
Dory, what do you do?
And so so I would say just understand how your class heals, because that's going to be a life-saving kind of thing. And it's a story-driven RPG. You know, I actually really enjoy the story, and I'm looking forward to finishing and diving more into the World Slayer story itself, and then doing some more endgame stuff, because it's like the biggest disappointment in the launch of Outriders was how crossplay kept failing, and it was just like, let's go play, and then it's like, well, okay, can't, this is not working, that's not working, and it's like, all right, like I just want to kick back, plug away, man.
We're talking about Outriders.
Oh, absolutely.
Go check out Chaos Prime because they do Outriders content.
Dude, Chaos is the best.
So, yeah.
I have not done my podcast in a while, and that's just namely because like this year's just been kicking my butt, and so
I know it's been forever.
Yeah, it has been. And so, but yeah, like I need to get back in the swing of things. I need to figure out what that's gonna look like. So hopefully I'll have some updates for you guys here midsummer.
Yay! Yeah, and the Pink Cactus asks, I'm glad the quality of life has improved with New World, but is there any more content or less different things to do?
They have added. They've added the in a way the M+ system. So they have a mutated system for dungeons, and that kind of does. You get 2 mutated dungeons a week. Let's see if I can see where they are. So right now, Dynasty Shipyard's mutated, and you challenge the dungeon, and the dungeon levels up, and it has 10 different levels, and it adds in additional mutators that kind of affect the gameplay. So you have that. The keys actually are going away to jump into the mutations here in a couple of weeks as a part of the July update. They'll have a new dungeon in the July update. We also got a new dungeon, the Tempest, as well. So PvE style content they have. From a PvP perspective, they've added this 3v3 arena modes. And this is where within both Outpost Rush and within 3v3 arena, you can queue from anywhere in the map. Same thing with Wars and Evasions. You can actually queue for Wars and Evasions in the map if they're upcoming invasions. So it'll have that where you can sign up for war or evasion from the map itself. So that's a quality of life, but also a piece of content. And they've added a new weapon. They added the Blunderbuss, which is a lot of fun. Great swords coming this fall. They added the Void Gauntlet last year. So like in terms of scenic, like he left, they've already added in 2 new weapons here in a month or two. We'll have a 3rd new weapon. And then the dungeons, they still need more. Like I think there's some definitely things, and then they're adding in musical instruments in July as well. So there's a lot of things already coming content wise. And then they completely overhauled the end game progression system, and I think it still could use a little bit of adjustments and improvements, but we're gonna get there. And then I'm content wise, yes. Do they need more? Yes, they'll always need more. We're getting a new zone in the fall. I am gonna go on the predictions scheme of saying that's gonna be in September. Because I think that's going to be perfectly timed for the 1-year anniversary of the game's launch, which essentially kind of gives them a lot more, marketing and say, hey, 1 year and celebration, stuff like that.
Y'all negative Nancy's were wrong. We're still here.
Oh, do we have a doomer in chat?
No, that's what the 1-year anniversary is going to be.
Oh yeah, like it's always fun when we get a doomer. Somebody got offended that I was like, yeah, sometimes the doomer's like, I'm just saying how it is. It's like, okay,
right. So a doomer, we already established that.
It's like, all right, like the thing is I posted over on the video on the call to arms, and I was debated on if I should have put that on the New World channel after I did it, but I wanted to cover it here to hopefully get it like more exposure, in terms of just kind of the more variety audience. And it was about somebody who also has recently returned, and they're like, oh my gosh, like New World actually could do it. But there's a part of it where it's like, if you guys like want the game to succeed, like that's where putting in that feedback's important. Not that you have to main it, but like if you're like, oh man, like I would love for New World to get better, it's like, yeah, maybe check in with the game a little bit. That could end up helping send a positive sign, provide feedback as to what would what you want to see added to the game and root for it. Like what I say is that a doomer is somebody who isn't somebody who's critical. A doomer is somebody who's actively rooting for the game to fail. And that, I think, ultimately is actually rooting against the genre, the MMORPG genre as a whole. Because if New World comes at can't make it work, they're like that's, guess what? Everybody's already still playing 20-year-old MMOs, 15-year-old MMOs. Like, and then then the complaint's gonna be like, there's nothing new, and it's like, yeah, nobody can do it. Because you gotta be like Lost Ark. You gotta launch on an island. You gotta wait for 3 years to go by, and then you can release your game. And it's got to be heavily free to play, pay to win if you want to even have a shot. And that's like if that's the only way that MMOs can succeed, then just y'all need to buckle the heck up. Because that means, and there's another. I've got Final Fantasy. I'll be okay. I love Final Fantasy, but I would like Final Fantasy more if Final Fantasy had some newer competition to kind of test out new ideas. Yeah, we're just kind of running in circles.
I got swept up with the other group.
Yeah, that's one thing that, like, from a quality of life, I think I would love it if I could be able to see the group members a little bit better in the UI. Because it's like I can see y'all when I'm not looking at you, but when I look at a big room, I can't y'all, the blue name tags do not show up as a way that visually I'm like, oh, there's my party. But like when my back's turned to you, I know that y'all are near me. It's so weird. I need to put that as feedback. I'll do that here after we beat this boss.
Yeah. I keep having to pop open the menu to figure out where you guys are.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if it had a mini map, that would be fine, but they are very adamant about not having a mini map.
I wouldn't mind if they made that as an option. I actually like having it off. It makes the world feel way more immersive to me, but there is the mini map add-on that I see people using.
I want to turn it on for certain things and then turn it off otherwise.
That'd be kind of neat to be like
PvP.
Yeah, they are. Let's see here.
Nice.
Submit feedback.
Fun to watch.
Oh yeah, I always enjoy that. Hey, it kept my feedback as I was starting to type it. That's nice. When playing.
Anyway, I'm gonna have to head off. So it was
Later.
lovely meeting you all.
Yeah.
And have a good day, everyone.
All right, see you,
Take
Julie.
care.
So yeah, I'll probably end up taking a break from 14 here in probably a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, are you any reason just to take a break to kind of enjoy? Breaks are great. Like I think breaks are important for enjoying games.
Well, not only because of the moving situation, but also because Xenoblade 3 will be out by then.
Oh, that's gonna be a good game.
And that game the last game took me 140 hours between both games. So the new one, depending on how open world it's, that's one reason why I love the Xenoblade games is because of how open world they are.
They feel like an offline MMO, like in terms of like the combat and the play style.
Yep. Yeah. I got my copy. I'm just waiting for it to get here before I can play it. So.
Oh, did it already come out? I guess.
No, I guess there's an earlier version, but I ordered I managed to get the special edition the other day.
Oh, cool.
When they had the orders go back up. Because the first time they tried doing it, it was a jumbled mess and the entire store was just a nightmare. And so they redid the launch for a second time, and so I'm just waiting for that to come in the mail.
Very nice, very nice.
What? That, and then I'm also probably going to end up playing Star Ocean 6 when that comes out.
When does that come out? Somebody was asking me about my opinion on Star Ocean 6, and I was like, I haven't really been following the any gaming news recently.
It comes out like next month or something like that. It comes out relatively. No, it comes out in October.
Star Ocean games have always kind of felt hit or miss to me, like, and so that's why I was like, oh, Star Ocean 6. So it's kind of like, I guess I can wait for a review. But if you're saying it's looking good, that's exciting.
Well, for me, because it's the first time I seen the trailer for it the other day. Like my one buddy was telling me about it, and I didn't even know anything that it was even releasing, and then I seen that they had a trailer out for it, and I gotta admit the trailer looked a little rough around the edges, but I'm thinking that's probably why they were trying to polish it up. But like if you watch the trailer for it, I forget what the actual name of it's called, but if you type in like Star Ocean 6, it will pop up. Like they don't actually call it 6 like how the last like 3 games have all had their own individual titles. I can't remember what the name of it's called offhand.
BB saying October, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm almost to level 15 on the Great Axe. I might, switch over to the Great Hammer as a focus. Keep these kind of close.
I'm fine. I'm almost 15 on my rapier.
Nice. Are you also getting a good experience for your levels?
I would say the hard, like my mission grind I was doing before was probably better for character XP, but my blunderbuss has leveled up I think 5 times since we've been here.
Yeah, dude, I love the blunderbuss, man. Like that's where I had a plan. I was trying to be further along on my weapon grind before they were doing these double XPs, but then I was like, I'm kind of worried when the blunderbuss comes out because I have so much fun with it. But I'm like, I just ended up playing with that for like 2 months without touching another weapon. I'm like, even at cap, I was like, I'm still at 20. This is what I'm playing with. And that's why I'm like,
playing with it.
Yeah.
But I just use it as accessory to my rapier, so I only even use two abilities. But
okay.
It's just so fun to play with.
Yeah. Well, it's like you get that kind of up close and like it ends up just being up close and personal, and it's a lot of fun. That's why I'm really kind of curious to see how the greatsword comes into play and how that kind of play style feels. Because like, am I going to be a greatsword blunderbuss guy? You know, maybe. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to the greatsword.
Yeah. Oh, and then they've talked about the twin daggers, and like we don't have a date on that, but I think a lot of people like there's so many potential weapons for the game, and anytime they add a weapon,
there were no
good.
Daggers.
What's up?
Just a side note, I was really confused when I first saw there were no daggers. I was like, how is there like a fantasy RPG with no rogues?
That, and then there's also like there's no pistol. Like there's a bunch of things that they could kind of do. And oh yeah, Star Ocean: The Divine Force. Thank you very much.
Yep.
I'll have to check that out. I think essentially though, I want to play the 7 remake before I start like getting any other RPGs.
I was gonna say you have to remember also that 14, even when a Realm Reborn launched, there was no thief class in the beginning.
It's true. Well, it's funny. Somebody's like, "Is there swimming in this game yet?" I'm like, "No," and they're like, "That's ridiculous." I'm like, "Man, I remember waiting like 7 years for Final Fantasy 14 to get swimming." So I'm like if we get swimming like in less than 7 years, I'm like, that seems standard. Oh, and that's like, so Gallant brings up a really good thing that I actually would rather see. Like when it comes down to the games, like I wish they would separate Shield into its own skill set so that you could pair Shield with like a pistol or Shield with hatchet. Like all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you want to like, if it's a single-handed weapon, I would like for Shield to be its own category so you could have more build variety. No, go ahead.
Do you think they could be waiting until they have offhand items like tomes and stuff for the magic classes before they do that?
I think so.
That'd be
I mean, they could easily do that. If you look at the Sword and Shield's defender tree, it's 3 shield abilities.
Yeah. Right.
Fair.
And so, but then you think if you did a shield, you could actually break that out into different kinds of abilities. And so what it would do is that you would set your abilities on shield, whatever like you wanted out of whatever tree, and then essentially you would equip like whatever tree then into as your main. So because I guess the question is maybe you would have. What's up? All right, 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
The storm approaches.
So I was gonna say, I know on the topic of that whole offhand shield thing that you guys are talking about, probably for New World, for 14, that's one thing that I would love if they would actually put in for more glamour options for like red mage and other jobs that like generally like use 2 weapons. For that way you could have more options for like looks and personality. I think that would be cool.
Nah, I tried so hard.
Yeah, I was trying to heal you, but you kept staying out of line of sight.
Yeah, I shouldn't have grappled up to that thing. I get so overzealous with the blunderbuss grapple. Please save. I forgot to make a camp again. Whee!
Hey guys, what server are you guys in?
Ophelius or whatever.
Oh, okay.
All right, everybody's good.
Yeah, I know it's US East and it starts with an O.
All right, sorry about that,
Everything
guys.
okay?
Oh yeah, everybody's good.
Okay. We only heard bits and pieces. I heard fell down and stairs.
Yeah,
and
so
that's not a good combo.
The 18-month, she rolled down the stairs, so she's fine. She knows how to do stairs, so yeah, she was just like, yeah, and it wasn't that far either. Yeah, so, but I was like, just checking her out, make sure that she's fine, and she's. By the time I got there, which was like apparently like a second after it happened, she was already laughing, and she's like, all right, so. But that's my normal day. Like when y'all aren't live, like when I'm not live, usually I'm just like, if I'm at work, I'll give like, oh, so like, something happened or so-and-so punched somebody. And it's like, all right, it's nighttime. So now we're going to get the ghosties. Is there a benefit to having multiple characters? You can actually be a part of 2 different factions and play with other people on the server. There's not a massive benefit unless if you were really trying to like, if you're going to sit here and just, if I was only playing New World, like as like that's all I am, and that's all I want to play, I would actually I have a second character. I would finish leveling them up because then I could go play with the guys from Studio Loot. So that's essentially kind of where like I would now. Being that I'm a content creator, and I share and I make videos about this game, I will not transfer servers. I will not sit here because like people are like, hey, where are we gonna go? Like I'm not gonna sit here and say, hey, I'm on this server, and then tomorrow be like, all right, I had to move, etc. Like the server will, like I will stay on the server until it quote unquote is done, and then they merge us into something else. Now I happen to actually now be on a pretty populated server, but note that if you guys want to team up, I'm not going to sit here and bounce the second you get here. I will actually never use my transfer tokens because I don't want to sit here and like, have you guys have to deal with that. I think that's ridiculous. So anyway, that's just want to make sure everybody's aware of that.
I mean, also, but coming from one whose store has had employment issues the last year, so it's really important for the people who like the server to stick around.
Yeah.
So that when people come in and there's friendly faces.
That's one of the things I like. I start seeing people like, oh, hi, yeah, hey. Just kind of, it feels, this game feels way more social. I actually will like typically sometimes like hang out and just chat with people. I'm like, and obviously I'm not looking like, I don't need a game. I was like, oh, this is my chat room game. But like, I actually feel like there's usually a lot more social aspects to New World. Oh man.
Everything respawns.
Alright, I was kiting that rando.
Sometimes I wish I had the knowledge and money to remake 11. Oh man. I wish that too. I wish that too. I know Tyler, he pledged $1 million to make it happen. But I clearly it would be a lot more than that. I haven't read through I know there's some of the Final Fantasy 11 like interviews and stuff, and I just like I've been so busy I haven't had time to read through them. And what I kind of skimmed was I want to get the context because I was like, A lot of it was like, it didn't feel like they even have a plan. I'm like, okay, well, all right. Like,
that's the general vibe I got from it.
yeah, and that's what I was like. And that honestly makes me mad, and I don't. That's why I was like, I haven't made anything on it yet because I don't want to sit here and I want to. If I'm upset about something, I want to at least take a minute. And like, so if I come in, if Tuesday hits and I'm like, I'm still frustrated by that, then I'll make a video about it. And then, you know, random Final Fantasy, you know, nerds are going to get mad at me, but it's okay. How do you use the transfer token? Okay, I'll show you exactly how to do it here in just a second as we clear out this boss. Thankfully, it's pretty straightforward. There are a few restrictions, and then it is cross-realm now, so you can transfer region, which I was like, that's, yeah, they absolutely need to make sure that is a fact. Yes. Okay, so also while I was making sure everybody was okay, Julie says, so I'm gonna get to play till 2 o'clock today. So if you guys are wanting to play and team up, we have one more spot. Heck, we can get a second party going. I don't care. It's gonna be great. Anyway, so store is the first step. You go to your character transfer, say your transfer token. You can select your world or your region. Let's if I select region, you'll see you pick your region itself. Let's say I want to transfer to US West for some reason. I would do that, and then I would say step 1 of 2. You can also kind of refresh, right, etc. If I want to select world, you can pick your world, and then you would say this. Now, you should leave your group, etc. Like it's gonna prevent me from doing so, but that's essentially the step. It will tell you like you can't you must be in a sanctuary, settlement, outpost, etc. You cannot belong to a company, so you need to leave your company if you're a part of it. You cannot have any active trading post sell orders before transferring, so you want to go clean up any kind of active selling trade orders, etc. So it will tell, like when you go to do it, if there's something that you're not hitting and there's some restriction to why it won't let you do it, it will tell you what that restriction is. It'll say, oh, you still have something on the market board or something like that. So hopefully that.
Oh yeah, market board. I should probably check my. Oh my.
Have you made a lot of money?
I've made like 11,000 overnight and 30,000 since the event started.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I went on. I made like around 80 grand, and then I went and bought houses, like all over. I was like, I'll take this house. I'll take this house. I'll take this house, because I was like one of those fishing trophies, etc. So now I'm back up to 24, but I haven't actively been like farming money, and I think that's one of the things that the game could actually do a little bit better, being that I would consider us kind of a small company within the game. And speaking of which, if you guys, we're Syndicate, and we are always recruiting and looking for like, you know, and trying to find like good times for us to play together. But I have went ahead and made like a kind of a governmental decision that like at 100 after 100 days, like if you're inactive, then we'll just kind of remove you, but you're always welcome back. So just note that that's just a way that we'll kind of try to keep the thing clean and ideally full of people who want to just hang out and have a good fun time together. Again, if you find that like you're wanting to do something a little bit more and the company's not actually doing it for you, like it's more like this should be like a nice place where you can come and chill. And if you want to get sweaty, like I'm not going to be offended if all of a sudden you find another company that's like doing more active things. Like no, by all means. Like I know for a fact that like as a dad and as you know, as a like what I would say as a provider, I'm not going to sit here and be able to play all the time. And you know, so I kind of like my thought process is this should be just a fun place for people to play together. And you know, but would I love to get sweaty and take own some territory? Yes, but I just don't know when that's going to happen. I think my game froze. Did y'all's game froze?
I'm getting off here.
No, not yet.
Okay. So that's maybe it's my computer, but I'm still live. Yes.
You're still live.
Okay, so yeah, the game totally did freeze. Yeah. All right, let's see here. My music also went away. Let me see if I can find out why my music went away. Cool. All right, let me just. Yep, I'll let the game. Boom. Oh, I have my second character on Ohono. But it's only level 4. New world crashed unexpectedly. Yeah, let's go ahead and submit that report.
Where is he? I'll keep you alive.
I have played 100 and...
oh, that's why people lay down. Okay.
Why do they lay down? What do they do?
You just got randomly DC'd, and your character's laying on the ground like you're taking a nap.
Oh, how nice.
And I'm wondering why people take naps. It's because they're waiting for their character to disappear. because if you try to log out shortly after combat, it says, "Hey, you were just in combat, so your character model's going to be in the world for a while."
Oh,
and I had no idea what that meant.
Scenic just transferred. Scenic, are you a part of the syndicate?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll get you invited into the company, etc. My friends list is full though. Like that's one thing I wish that I could get them to like expand or something or whatnot. And it's like kind of like, all right, who do I cut? And it's like there's definitely things that they can do to improve that would make me really happy. One of the things I loved about Gears of War 5 is that you actually had a friend leveling, like a friend level. So the more you actually played with a friend, like it actually kind of was like, oh yeah, you've leveled up as friends. And I would love to see something. I would love to see that more in RPGs. More levels, more things to level, more thing. You know, like you should have had 2 free tokens, Dream, unless maybe they doled those out in phases and you had to be active at that time. And no worries, no worries. You shouldn't feel like you need to transfer. I know it's not necessarily like.
Yeah, he should have 2 free because I
had
didn't
2
start playing
free
until April, and I got 2 as soon as I created the character.
Scenic, what's your character name?
I still got my 2.
I'm gonna just type Scenic and see if you're well branded. Same thing across the board.
I'm appreciating the kind of mentality and spreading of time across multiple games that you've been advocating, which I've started doing before we even met. Because I'm looking at this, having spent the last month grinding pretty hard with each of the XP, and I'm going, you know, when it's all over on the 5th, I could probably afford to take a break from this and just take a breather. And just as I'm thinking that, Yoshi P's like, so Manderville?
Exactly.
Manderville?
Exactly.
You haven't done Manderville yet?
Oh, maybe you might want to do some Manderville. You know, it's like, and what they'll end up doing is that I think you'll enjoy that experience. And then whenever like there's like, it's just, the solution to me seems so simple. It's just play something else. But I think the incentive structure of the internet says you should rage about this. Because it could get you attention, and you might be able to become a, you know, like get some, you know, get those clips going of here's Brian mad at, you know, New World for, you know, taking a longer time to make a dungeon.
Yeah.
Look at global chat. Scenic, thick, lick the. What a great name. All right, I'm gonna say invite to group, and then I'm gonna invite you to the company. So yeah, come on and join. Let's see if I'll let me add a friend. And friend request. I have 100 friends. I can only have 100 friends. So, all right, I sent 2 invites to you, Scenic, dude. What a great name.
Speaking of Manderville, do you remember about a month or 2 ago when they posted the latest round of winners of the weapon design contest?
Yeah,
and
those would look
every
some
single
great
weapon
weapons. Had
a joke food type version.
Yeah.
I can't help but wonder, is at least one round of Manderville relics gonna be in the kitchen?
That would be wild.
That'd be pretty great.
There are populated servers. There are populated servers for sure.
Here, I will see you guys later.
All right, man.
Okay.
You have a good night or day. We'll be live I'll be live till 2. Got it. Yeah. That's what I got to do next week. I got to try to make up hours for June. The
I'm in sales, and it's the start of the pay period, so I just came off of my stress week.
Oh
so
man,
I feel it.
Yeah, enjoy your day, man.
Y'all have a good one.
You too, man. Corey is like, yeah, so we have populated, and then you can transfer. You should have 2 free, and then Dream was saying that they like apparently maybe only had 1 free transfer, but then they are like, you know, I guess $15 to do a transfer token. Just note that I will not be transferring, because if y'all come to play with me, I want that to be. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh yeah, especially if you even use a free one. Like I don't want, you know, I want it to be. I want to be like, I don't want to do that to y'all. Like I was like, I'd be mad. I'd be like, oh man, I just transferred this server, and all of a sudden they just transferred off. Like, if the server will die and we will get merged, that's the only way that the server name changes, and that's how it's changed so far.
Yep.
I would recommend, what is it like, New World DB population? Like there is a link so you can go check out the list of kind of the different populated servers. I would, if you're looking for like the most populated, I would also look at kind of like at that report at the times that you're normally gonna play. What is our server? Like, I'll have to see if I can pull it up for you just 1 second. So just to see, like, as an example, like it's a Saturday. Is this normally game time? Who's got the biggest, what's the most populated server? I actually had a login queue this morning for this server, which was wild. So I don't know if anybody else experienced that, but it wasn't the typical one, like where you see that pop up occasionally. It was like, oh, there's actually people in queue. Like, okay, cool.
I did not. I was expecting it because I saw your tweet.
Yeah, and maybe like that cleared up like right after I did that. I was like, I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this screen in a long time. Let me see here. 1 second. Let me find you the
just timing. Oh, where are we at on my pens? Okay.
Let's see. I think this might be it. Oh yeah, perfect. All right, cool. Here is a link that this will help you, Corey. That can help you try to find a world that you want. If I sort by who's online the most right now, Dry Tree in EU Central's got the most, just under 2,000. See here, Aru in EU Central. EU is popping off right now. They got everyone's in EU's more playing over there. US East is Maramba is the highest. Valhalla second. Where are we? Oh, we're let's see here. If for the EUS East 1, 2, 3, 4. We're the 5th most populated server on for a New World right now. For US East, but like Central, use that link. That should help you get exactly what you need, man. And hopefully, welcome back to New World, Corey. While holding Great Axe, gain 10% damage absorption when 3 or more foes are within 4 meters. Interesting. While holding a Great Axe, gain 10% damage when 3 or more foes. Oh, I'll take the damage. Screw the damage absorption. Let's see here. Swing away. And did I hit 15? I did. I hit 15 on Great Axe. Now let's go Great Hammer. Yeah. So especially because now I'm going to 2. I'm going to see if I'm going to get Great Hammer. And then if I can see if I take one of these to 20, that would be sweet.
Sword and Shield hit 20 a little bit earlier.
Oh, congrats, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, sit down.
Oh, yeah. Did it get really dark in this cave all of a sudden?
Yeah, I think it became maybe it became nighttime, but yeah, it definitely has a little bit of more darkness going on, more dang. Oh yeah, we got ghosties, so it's definitely nighttime.
I almost feel like I need to adjust the gamma. I can barely see.
Oh, he's retreating, coward. And Scenic, did you have the quick teleport spot out here, or is this a place you need to run to? Yeah, I love that they are weak to blunt.
There's somewhere I need to run to.
Okay, cool.
It can be a little dangerous outside getting into the cave, so let us know when you're here.
Yeah,
and we can come out and get you.
Like the first entry spot, like it's all pretty lower levels, and so that's not the danger part. But as soon as you start seeing the goldies, let us know and we'll run to you. That way you don't have to try doing these on your own. So was the Gathering XP event earlier this month? It actually was, and it is going on right now, Gallant. So everything from the 1st through the 5th, like I think early morning on the 5th, is doubled, except for crafting XP, which is only like 25% increase. So like if you log in right now to the game, it will say like double. Like, so gathering is doubled, refining is doubled, crafting is 25% increase, character XP is doubled, weapon XP is doubled. So it is the big old end of the kind of the June event, namely because like I'm happy they didn't have a June update. Like one of the things they've been doing is these bigger updates every month, and I want them to get to a point where they have both the confidence and stuff so that they can actually kind of, I wouldn't mind them getting into kind of like a big update once every 3 months, and then essentially just kind of like any kind of minor fixes and things like that that need to be addressed in between then. So then that way they can have that cleaner dev cycle that, for testing, and they can test the PTR a little bit more, etc. So that's essentially kind of what I'm hoping that they get to. As a reminder, as you're gathering this loot, if you do not need repaired materials, don't salvage your stuff. Wait till July, because that can give you the option to be able to get these perfect salvages, which is an upgrade to the salvage system, and that's going to give you materials and chances for all kinds of additional stuff. Yeah, make some room on the hard drive, dude, and come play. And then also, again, like, you don't have to come back and be like, I'm gonna main New World, for the next whatever. I just want you to go in here and go up to menu and say send feedback, and send them the stuff that you'd like to see the game do or improve upon, because I think that's going to be how everybody's going to just have a better New World experience. Oh, the gathering system New World is by far something that I just get lost in. I just really enjoy that. I completely whiffed on that skill. I just like nothing but air. Yeah, and then if you guys haven't seen here, also along with the party finder, along with the new dungeon, we're getting musical instruments and a rhythm game that actually gives you buffs that you can apply to people who listen to you make the music. It's real life bards as a skill trade. So I'm thrilled for that. I cannot wait to level up my musical skill.
Thankfully, the buffs they've revealed so far are all about the crafting and gathering.
Yeah.
Because if it was combat buffs, then it would suddenly turn into required for raiding.
Yeah, I don't necessarily mind if they did decide to add in combat buffs, but it's also like XP increasing buffs, so it feels very Corsair from Final Fantasy 11. So it's like outside of like pure damage, but you're right. Like I think if they were going to do more combat buffs with it as a bard, then you'd have to like they need to think through what that would look like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anything that affects combat is instantly going to be min-maxed, and if you're not doing it, you're wasting my time.
Yeah.
And I hate that mentality.
Well, and the other thing is, like, imagine if it somebody felt pressured to level up the music, and
exactly.
It's like, and that's where it's like that. I think that would be stress. Like I don't want I like how New World functions. It feels like I can get sweaty if I want to. Because I'll go do the PvP stuff, if I want to, but I don't need it. Like, it's not required for my enjoyment of the game. Yes. Feed me, Seymour. Feed me. Oh, no, we got somebody down.
Yeah,
oh, that's a PvPer. We can't res him.
No.
That is a shame for him.
Yeah, sorry, bud. Maybe his PvP teammates will be able to. Oh, dude. I'm just watching these numbers climb. Warhammer 12! Oh, that felt. I love when we get like these just packs of mobs.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something so satisfying about it. That's the thing. Like if what I would love to see Final Fantasy 14 kind of do. It's like I would love to see more open world leveling as an option. Like just let's go get into a zone and let's go kill some monsters. But that's something they've moved to, like Eureka and Bajia, is more of an end game piece of content than anything. You got one right here.
Pull the Great Axe back out.
Yeah, if I can knock out my two hands, then I can focus in on ranged and magic. Oh yeah. And then, like, because if I can have all of my weapons at 20 before the the great sword comes out, that'll be nice, because then from a leveling and gameplay perspective, I can just live in great sword and be like, yep, I got it. Now, what I'd like to see, like when we talk about, like, I'd love it if XP had a value post level 60, like it did something in terms of progression, but I would also like the same kind of concept for the weapons themselves. Like, imagine if, like, every time you got a quote unquote level after hitting the level cap, you know, 20, nice. Then it's like, oh, here's a drop, here's a you know, a random drop of that weapon, you know, so it's just another way of getting a piece of gear, you know. I don't know, something. It could be anything, but I'd like to see something along those lines.
Well, it makes sense for it to be geared. Like, they could just take the what's it called, aptitude system.
Yeah.
That they have for the crafting and the gathering, where it's you get a box full of crafting materials.
Exactly.
Well,
100%.
This is combat, so give me a box full of loot.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Like if they did that, oh my gosh, dude, I'd be so thrilled. Whenever their target is affected by a crowd control effect, they are slowed by 20%. Okay, we'll do that. Boom.
Or let us focus it. Give us like a piece of gypsum.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Like the gathering, the 3 hidden caches you get every day give you a third of a gypsum. So you get all 3 caches, you get 1 gypsum. Level up 5 prestige levels, you get a gypsum.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
I agree. I think because that would be something that, like, oh, you're using that weapon. It's kind of also as a way of in a way, like it's your own focused targeting of loot. You're like, oh, I really want, you know, I really like hammer. Cool. Well, then, yeah, like, guess what? You're gonna keep having that. So if they did something along those lines, then you bring in the level XP post 60. Man, I tell you, like, honestly, that could be a bad thing for me in the long run. Nestrin, are you running out there or something?
Oh, I was just giving somebody else a hand.
How's Scenic coming? Where's he at? Is he making progress?
Yeah,
Make sure you get that fast travel location so you don't have to make that run again. Because this place is great for weapon farming and stuff, especially at the double XP event. It's like, oh baby, where are we going? Oh yeah, going to Pirates Cove, babe.
I'm making my way downtown.
This game came out in September of 2021, BB. It is on sale right now, I think for 24 or 25 bucks US. So if you don't have it and you're interested in it, I'm coming up on 400 hours of game time, and I would say at $25, like that's a value. But you know, everybody's going to have their own kind of a equation of what essentially has value for them. But yeah, like it's an MMO, so just heads up. Sometimes, like, it's always kind of funny how people, like, you know, end up having to review MMOs that don't like MMOs, and they're like, it's like an MMO. I'm like, yeah.
Yes, correct.
You are correct. Like, I don't know why we're saying that in a negative way. But big updates are coming also here in another month as well. So the devs are doing some good stuff, man. And right now, XP is doubled, so you could get on, play this weekend, and you're gonna fly through some levels, which is kind of nice. Yes.
Yeah, give you a nice start early on.
Yeah, lots of fun weapons. I think they're good. I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the greatsword plays. And the fun thing is that I don't feel like we're that far off, because I just feel like when you start talking about the new zone that they're adding, the new weapon, and like all the stuff that they've talking about for the fall, like it just feels like a perfect opportunity to be like, 1 year, you know, here's the content and here's all this new stuff, and what, you know, like, I don't know, it's gonna have me excited. So, but that's actually
impressed.
that's something no, you're good. That's something I was gonna just say, like, I need to make sure that I probably in August, if that ends up being correct, in August I just need to make sure I'm playing the game less, so that way the content doesn't come out and then I'm just like, oh, I could use a break. What were you gonna say, Scenic?
I was just gonna say, like, I'm just thoroughly impressed by just how much they're doing with each update.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, when all this stuff came out chronologically, but I feel like I haven't really been gone from the game all that long.
Yeah.
And yet the game is there's just so much more to it.
Absolutely. Well, some of the things, like, it's just like that, removing these kind of natural frictions that they built in. It's like, oh man, people are having fun. Let's keep that up. Because
Yeah,
that storage change was like, oh man, what's great.
Oh,
They
yeah.
also they think that they link the auction houses, so you're like, yeah, just go to the house and just buy what you need. Like you're not having to sit here and be like, okay. Because originally they were like, I guess people would go to the, somebody would just make a business of moving things to one place, but in reality, people are like, I'm just gonna go to where I can find it. I'm not gonna, that just seemed like unnecessary friction in 2022.
Yeah, there are certain elements early on where I'm like, I appreciate what you're trying to accomplish. This is 2022, not 1999. People do not have the time for this anymore.
Yeah, and that's why I'm excited. I really hope that I'm probably gonna have a lot of feedback on the Party Finder system that for July, namely because, and the nice thing is I haven't got to see it yet, but when I go hands on with it, like wherever it feels like it's a kind of a lacking, especially compared to Final Fantasy 14's, like then I can be like, yo, devs, like here's here's what we want, and here's how you can make it fit. Because I think essentially like if the Party Finder is a kind of a menu mode that you can kind of like that I can sit here and just kind of see what all is going on and what people are listing, that's great. I think it's going to probably start off that it's just focused around the dungeons themselves, but I hope that over time that you can kind of say like, yo, I'm gonna make my party, it's open, and this is what we're doing, we're leveling up here, and people can kind of just then join in if that's how I've configured it. But that's the feedback that I'm planning on giving. Thanks guys for the 20 likes, by the way. All right. There we go. Omnipotent Pete, what a great name.
Hello, Brian.
What is going on, dude?
How's it going? I'm a fan here. Watched your videos about, I would say, a couple of months back. Been watching all the New World content. Great stuff. I'm glad you're doing a good service for the community, and I'm glad you're kind of helping out New World in one way or another. Some positivity out there. I love the game.
Thanks, bud.
Actually played it on release.
Yeah.
It was kind of buggy for me, but I still enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too, but you're like, it would be a lie to be like, yeah, that was a bug-free release. It's like the thing that pissed me off the most was when they had to shut down the economy, because then it was like, oh come on, and then at least they got it fixed. But you were saying something, Hector, so go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying, yeah, I had some bugs, but I could kind of see over it. My thing was I have like a 1660 Super.
Oh yeah.
Right, 53600, so it runs everything great. Any other
nice.
game I throw at it. So I kind of got a little bit disappointed, but again, it's a new game, so you got to give it time. So I kind of, stayed off of it. I would say for a couple of months, 2 or 3, and then I jumped back on it like a couple of months back, and
Nice.
I've been having a lot of fun. All the problems they had, the frame drops, the stuttering, all that got like washed away. So I'm actually having a great time playing it, and I'm just glad to be part of the community here.
Dude, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in and just, I don't know, making me feel good. Because it's like, that feels great. Like, I was like, the best way to describe it is that I have felt since the beginning, despite the bugs and the issues, I was like, New World there's a magic here that I feel. Like, I just feel like, oh, wow, there's something really cool here. And if they continue to work to refine it, like I'm definitely going to be along for the ride. It's the same feeling I actually got with Final Fantasy. It's like, obviously that game struggled, but I was like, okay, well, I'm willing to struggle with it. So like that's definitely kind of my style. Maybe I have a type. Struggling MMO.
Yeah, New World I never been too big into MMOs. I played Warframe, and I've always been a survival kind of game.
Oh yeah.
Exiles, Rust. The only thing about Rust and that kind of like genre, I don't like the fear of like being inside my base and kind of like it's hard to go at it solo. In other words,
Yeah.
that kind of game. And
Absolutely.
with New World, it's a different style. It is survival, but to me, it's more like I don't know. For me, it was a really good experience since not getting into like big MMOs. New World was like kind of like, it's not like a starter MMO, but for me, it was very easy to understand and grasp everything.
Yeah.
And of course, have fun with it. There's some MMOs that are crazy out there, like and Black Desert Online, and I have that one, and the screen's just like riddled with things, and I get confused and then a little bit frustrated, but I like New World because it just has a simplicity to it that I got my friend into it.
Oh,
and
nice.
He doesn't like that kind of game, and now he's playing it and he's enjoying it like me. And I kind of like, I don't hold his hand, but I let him know what the game's about and what are the aspects, and he just goes at it and he understands everything about it.
Dude, that's actually really good to hear. That's one of the things that when it comes down to people who are like who aren't playing in negative, like I'm fine for, like, I definitely support everybody's right to like critique and say the good and the bad and to have an honest conversation about like what the game could do and do better. But what I find is that people who don't play, who are overly negative on it, it's like, well, why? Like, why are we actively rooting against the game? And so one of the things that I've always kind of seen as a sign of like actually health of the game itself is that when people like return and they're like, oh wow, like this is great, and the fact that they're willing to come back and check it out is really good. It's a really healthy thing. And then like the fact that you're telling me like your friend who's normally not into it is having a good time with the game, like it's like that just continues to like affirm like that, yeah, there's some magic that this game has, and it's got and as long as it keeps, if they keep working on it, they keep making updates, that they keep making content, it's definitely going to continue to be worth my time, and that's something that has me excited, because it's like I don't know, I feel like this, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I feel like this game has a mountain of potential, like
So-
it's
Yeah, it does.
So the way that you're talking about this game now is how I felt about Elder Scrolls Online in its release days.
yeah.
I actually had so much hope for that game, and to see that it did bounce back and become such a respectable title, like, doesn't surprise me at all. And I feel like New World has a lot of that same similar sort of potential.
Yeah. Cool. I'm not alone. It's like, everyone's like, we're just here to watch him go crazy.
The thing is about New World, it has great graphics.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It's like right now I was doing like the dungeon run. I'm not in the same server you guys are in.
You're good. This is just a place where everybody can come and hang out and just chat. Like, you don't have to be actively even playing the game.
Oh no, I still jumped in the same, not the same dungeon, but in a different server, just so I can, I've never been to that one, the one that you guys are on right now. So it's great, but
I love the zone.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's a good game. It's good graphics. There's a lot of videos out there negative, and I see these YouTubers, and I kind of am like, why they're kind of talking down about the game. They're like, I got to this level and the end game and this, and I'm kind of like enjoying the ride. I'm not rushing to get
Yeah.
there.
Well, that's the same thing I did. Like, I was trying to tell people, I was like, guys, think that the end game starts at level 1 and not level 60, and you'll have a completely different experience with this game, because I think World of Warcraft taught people to, like, you just rush and then all of a sudden you get to the real game, and it's like, no, the real game begins at level 1. There's more content at level 60, but that's not, I view end game as, and that's where I've done everything. I've dabbled in everything, and I've really enjoyed that. Like, that's where you could level Yamron, who's a part of the company, and he's not playing right now, but he was hanging out in chat earlier. Like, he leveled to 60, like crafting and gathering and stuff like that. Like, that was his experience, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's incredible, because like, and that's where, in terms of end game, like I get gypsum by fishing. Like, I'm actually leveling up my expertise by fishing, and I think that if they brought back XP at level 60 to have that like aptitude system for your level, I think ultimately that would balance out like everything the game has, because then XP stays relevant. That means the town boards stay relevant. That means like everything that generates XP can still be used to progress your character. Doesn't have to be fast or efficient, but I that's what I'm going to continue to advocate for. But yeah, man, are you excited for the July update? Like, and is there, what would be if you are, what's the thing you're looking forward to most?
For the July update, the musical instruments. I'm a musician myself. I'm a drummer.
Nice.
So as soon as I saw believe it or not, your YouTube video. That's what popped up on my feed, and I'm like, what? Musical instruments? What?
That blew me
checked
away.
it out. Yeah, and then I see the little those little effects like around like the people that are in your area. I guess they get buffs as well.
Yes, they get.
So,
you
like,
can you can put buffs on people. And I was like,
it looks like that's good because that brings everyone together. That's what this game looks like. There's a lot of things that bring people together, and that's one of the things that they're making better, like the community-wise. Adding those musical instruments and those different aspects are kind of like get people's attention because it's always a little side things like fishing. Like I didn't know that I found like a tier 4 trunk.
Yeah.
By fishing, so you can get gear a lot of different ways. You can make it, you can find it, you can fish for it. So those kind of little things. Sometimes you just want to set up your camp and fish and chill out. So instruments is another way to do it because sometimes people just don't want to fight back to back and do runs. Sometimes you just want to relax. So I like that about the July update. So I think that, and I like pirates. So the whole Barnacles and
Black Powder, baby. Yeah.
It fits into my genre, so I'm hyped for it. So those are my things of musical instruments.
What about the rest of the chat? What are you excited about for July?
I'm looking forward to the pirate thing.
Yeah. It's gonna be cool because we've obviously had the Isabel story, and that's kind of concluded.
What's up, Brian?
What's up, Yammer? Did you hear me talking about you? All good things. All good things. I like you. You were an impressive dude, and I was like, I respect the hell out of the fact that you leveled up just the way you did, because I was like, I love that. I leveled up as a hybrid. Like I did quests, I did crafting and gathering. Like it's like that was always just like I love that I could do anything, and it was just everything I'm doing is just moving me forward. But I wasn't ever at that rush. But anyway,
How long did it take him to get to 60?
Yammer, the floor is yours, man. As he says quietly. Is he still here? Did we lose him?
Sorry, my input's messed up because I unplugged my headset. What were you talking about?
How long did it take you to level to 60 the way you did?
A few months. I think by the time I hit Christmas, so it came out in September? By the time Thanksgiving, Christmas came, by the time Thanksgiving, like December came, I was, I think, level 60.
Yeah, you beat me. He actually, I think, beat me to 60.
I mean, I did it the fun way.
Yeah, you did it. Well, yeah.
So
you didn't really do quests or anything. You just crafted.
The only quests I really did were story quests and camping quests.
Yeah, he kept. I did not upgrade my camp for so long, and he was always on my butt about it. We got to get your camp upgraded, Brian. Like, all right.
How much money did you make from it all? A lot?
No, I didn't really make much at all because at the same time I was trying to make stuff for myself. So I was making myself armor. I was making myself everything: armor, weapons, ammo,
bags.
Bags, everything. Like, so I really didn't make a lot of profit on anything. But I think by the time I hit 60, I think I had like 15 to 20,000 gold, just through quest. I don't know what I sold. I think I sold like lodestone and oil. I've been doing that for a while. What else did I sell? Armor and weapons almost never sold.
I wonder if they'll sell now with the new salvaging system that people are like, oh, that's just want cheap loot, and then I'm like, yeah.
Probably. What did I sell? I never sold. I don't know what I sold. I think I just got money through quests through. Oh, and I did faction quests as well, just to boost my my standing.
Yeah, and the faction quests, they're absolutely, I think, a must.
I don't remember how I made all that money, all my money. I don't remember. It's a very.
How much money do you have now?
Almost 40,000. And that's with buying a small house and a large house, like a tier 4, I think. So you need 20,000 for the large house and 5,000 for the small house. So I do have enough. Obviously, I do have enough to buy another large house, which I plan on doing in Brightwood. I don't know what I'm going to be I think I'm gonna buy another large house in Morningdale, just because it's just a convenient location. It's also kind of a neat location, but yeah. Just
I like Brightwood a lot. Like that's where it's kind of when it comes down to like when we look at just the map.
And it's such a convenient location because this is long. Because it's right near Great Cleave.
Yeah.
Which you can get a lot of good stuff from there. Lodestone, a lot of lodestone actually.
Like I've got
life moats.
Yeah. I went with Morningdale, Everfall, and I'm in Cutlass Key. So I got 3 houses kind of like in this kind of like diagonal line of where I'm like, and I got my home point in Reekwater. So like I feel like, and especially with the way they've made the traveling system and all the changes and stuff they made, I love that I can kind of I can get where I need to go, And that's like that's nice. Now they will be I'm betting we'll see a point where the Azoth is like no longer. I wonder if we'll see them drop the Azoth for teleport and become a coin based thing, because like it's Zoth is just like this. There's nothing it's used for.
I'm wondering if it's just going to be if Azoth. Oh, that is that. I'm wondering if Azoth is just going to be for crafting.
They said that they're building a new system that's going to also use Azoth. And I go, that sounds. And so I don't know what that's going to be.
That's intriguing and scary at the same time because
it's like, oh no, change.
No, it's just like
I hear
the
you.
Azoth systems haven't necessarily been good,
right?
Aside from like crafting.
Crafting, I thought was really good. Teleportation.
That's really the only one.
Yeah.
The crafting system is really the only one that Azoth has been actually decent in. Other than that, it's been like not.
Yeah,
impressive.
If they add it into teleportation, they'll end up being, I think, like making teleportation coin based. I think that just when you look at games, and that do that, like it just kind of makes sense as a nice little gill sink, as a gold sink.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's just pulling a little bit of money out, and you're paying for the convenience, but it's not all that like game breaking expensive. And then like if you think about that with the fact that they have the kind of the little daily bags. It's like ultimately you log in, you chop down a tree, and like you got plenty. You could teleport for days.
Hidden stash.
Yeah,
hidden stashes. That's it.
And they could also set like in terms of like coin, they could always make it like somewhat relative to you. It's like all right, like
exactly.
I don't know, free teleport. Free teleport. Redemptions or who knows. So I wonder if they do that, because then then they can. I think that could give a lot more, because like I'm always at Azoth cap, because I'm also not using it crafting yet. So
yeah, I haven't been doing a lot of crafting. I also haven't logged into the game in like a month or 2.
That's good though. Like it's good to take these breaks. Like that's what Carmack was talking about.
I play as my tastes drive me. So like. Yeah. For example, I've had a hankering for World of Warships, so I've been playing that as well. That I got a hankering for like an ARPG, so I'm playing Lost Ark, right?
Yeah.
So right now I don't have really an urge to play a third-person MMO. It's just not. My taste right now is different. So does that mean I'm not coming back to New World? No, I just don't know when.
Right. And you should feel that pressure.
Yeah.
Like you should, like, the thing is, like, that's where I see how content creation has also, like, that, like, I look at myself and it's like, no, I'm going to, like, I took a 4-month break from Final Fantasy in Shadowbringers, because I needed that. I needed to take a break from playing the game. And, and it was like, I was like, I'm not making a video about it. So I didn't go and say like, oh no, I'm like, because I'm not quitting the game. It's just like I'm taking a rest. Like I'm going to take a rest, and it's like that's probably the better terminology, because it's like, but the temptation in the content creation, it's like, oh, and then it's like, hey, I'm back. It's like, no, I'm not doing that.
Because New World is a game. I've done this with a lot of games actually. Not a lot of games, but a decent number. Where you just play the crap out of them, and then like you're just done, right? You just don't play it. Like Final Fantasy 14, that happened to me.
Yeah,
I don't really play it anymore, even though I have to finish the story. But I'm just like, it's not. I'm kind of just done with it.
You gotta sit down and just like, because if your taste is what drives you and your enjoyment, then gaming is fun. And if it's not, like if you're like, I have to do this, like it's like, wait a minute, is this a job? I thought this was a game.
Exactly, that's my point.
Yeah.
So
we got the big boss guy here. So if anybody I need some like.
I actually agree with both of you and Yamran about that. It's kind of like the burnout.
Yeah.
But that's what happened with me and Russ when I saw it. The first time I saw it on YouTube, I saw these content creators and everyone having fun. And I was like, oh man, I gotta jump on it. And I got on it and I squeezed it, played it late night till 4 a.m, 4 hours of sleep, came to work on my mind every day.
Yeah.
And now it's just there. I haven't deleted it because I still have a place in my heart for it, but it's there. And sometimes I'll jump on, I'll run around, I'll hit a tree, I'll make a small base, and I'll log off, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of, and I agree with Yamaran. Like he said, like you'll play it, and then like I'm kind of getting into ARPGs, so I was looking at Last Epoch. Yeah, Last Epoch.
Oh yeah, Last Epoch's actually a lot of fun. They're about to have their multiplayer patch pretty soon. It also supports controller, so like a big key thing for me in gaming is, can I play a game on controller? And the answer is yes. And I'm like, okay, but that's actually like, I would love to see New World actually have native, but at least Steam offers that as a feature, so it's like I can actually kick back and play the game on controller.
And I feel you like that, because that's why I kind of look for games that I can play on you know, and they're native. That's why if they're not native, I'm kind of like, that's why when your video came out, again, one of the first videos out on controller, I was like, wow, I'm like, cool. That's like what I like to do, kick back and on the controller.
Yeah.
And I like to have options, but if it's native, it's way better, because, you know, it just goes to the Last Epoch. It's really good.
Yeah.
Because you could actually move with the joystick and your character moves. And some games that get ported over, like Path of Exiles,
they don't
have that cursor that's in the controller, so it's kind of redundant.
Yeah, I need to jump back. I haven't played Epoch in a couple of months, because I was like, oh yeah, so I probably should put together some at least content around it, because it's definitely a game worth paying attention to. But it's not MMO. It's just, you know, it's just an ARPG, and it's a lot of fun. The class structure and the system there is really cool. Like I love how, like, kind of insane the builds you can kind of start setting it up. But I haven't gotten that far enough to where it's like, oh yeah, but yeah, I have that downloaded. I bought that as early access, and I was like, oh, I've been kind of privately enjoying that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for, Gallant. Actually, I should jump on and just at least, because if people are waiting for the big multiplayer patch, then putting out like a controller kind of setup guide, and, you know, just to kind of walk people through how it works. That's kind of the thing I enjoy. Brian likes games that can be played on controller.
That it's gonna be big, the multiplayer. It's gonna be big because everyone's leaning. That's the thing that everyone's been asking. I've been watching the devlogs, and that's what everyone's been, you know, hankering, that multiplayer. So I'm kind of like waiting on it, and me and my buddy of mine, we're gonna jump on it together and start off and see how it is. But that game looks like it's up on the horizon. It looks like it's another one. But
Gallant, we're on the same. 1 second, Gallant, and we're on the same server. If you are a syndicate and you're looking for like a company, you want to kind of just park in here while you're gone, you know, you're welcome, and we can get you an invite. But no worries if not. But be sure be a part of the Discord as well, Gallant, so that way like because this isn't like, you know, I usually stream sometimes in the evening. I've been doing the stand-up comedy thing, so that usually is where I spend my evenings a little bit, but I try to have at least one evening stream a week where we're all kind of hanging out, playing some games and having fun. So you know, this is where I'll do my streaming, so hopefully you'll get those notifications if we're streaming New World. I do want to play some Phantasy Star Online too. I do want to play like Final Fantasy 7R. So there's just, you know, there's just things. And obviously when the new Criterion dungeons come out in Final Fantasy 14, I'm gonna see about what kind of groups we can get together to do that. But yeah. Oh good, yeah, and hopefully that bot decides to respond to you. I don't know why like there was a delay there.
Okay, I gotta get going.
Awesome, thanks for hanging out, man. Thanks, Ness. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, I'm gonna stream for at least another hour. And we're just gonna keep getting this experience. I think I hit 14 on the Warhammer, so my goal is just if I can get both Warhammer and War Axe to 15, then I can start to try to push one to 20 and continue to cap these weapons. but I'm also kind of getting hungry. It's like, huh. Oh, hey, gorgeous.
The eternal struggle for gamer.
Thank you. Yeah, the internal struggles of gamers. Julie just brought me some coffee. She is the best.
Nice.
I had a quick question.
Yeah, go for it.
Since obviously you have way more experience in New World and I'm kind of new to it, the only thing I'm kind of like a little bit struggling with is I want to get my armoring up because I want to craft the suit of armor. Is I've been doing the living glove thing, like spamming that. Is there another way, or is that the
living what? Sorry.
The linen gloves?
Oh, so yeah, you're spamming like a craft to level. I'm getting a lot of wind. I think that's coming from you, Gamer.
Sorry, that's me.
Yeah, no. I was just like, I'm hearing wind. I don't know why. So for that, why is is the bot not respond? Is the bot only working for me right now? Because like Gallon's doing there. I would factor in also any kind of armoring boards, any of the town boards that have any kind of thing for kind of crafting in that. So those can get you lots of experience. Crafting and grinding on crafting is a function of more of an economic problem, because essentially I would say, yeah, you can do linen gloves, but there might be a cheaper recipe. Like, so I would have you, what I would do is like, if you go to the thing, pull up a couple of the highest level recipes that you can craft, take a screenshot of the materials that it requires, because what I would love this game to do, hold on. I'm gonna put it in this feedback. What I'd love it if this game would do would allow you to mark and basically make a shopping list, so that when you go to search things, you're like, oh, here's the things that you're actively looking for. But what I do is I take a screenshot of the recipes of the materials for the highest level thing, and I kind of put those in a little notepad, and then essentially I check in on the markets for whenever those things are really, really cheap, and then I just buy up as much as I can in bulk.
Oh, okay.
To mark items on a shopping list. Track
Technology exists in the game to do that, because if you have a community board quest for it, it's marked in the auction hall.
Yeah, that's how I do it. I actually grab all the things that are like turn-ins for the town boards. I track those, not to turn them in, but just when I get those items, to know that I can sell those items for more money, because there's an automatic demand for them.
Yep. That's how I made my initial fortune, selling salmon.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, and then that when the item drops, I'm like, oh, it has a little symbol on it. I know I can do something. I can go turn that in. Reports.
It takes a little effort, and it's not as fast from a time perspective, but any of the armament requirements quests from the community board have an extremely good XP to material cost ratio. But you do have to keep traveling between the towns and hope that RNG is on your side for them to show up.
Submit. More feedback submitted. As these ideas pop up, I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I need. But yeah, that would be my advice. Like, so it's like, that way you end up kind of getting, things that you can kind of grind up, getting lots of XP for cheap, especially right now, especially this weekend where you're getting 25% more experience. That could mean that you're paying more in coin. So, yeah, hard crafting, grinding on crafting is going to be a function of the economy. And so sometimes the other side of it, and maybe I should make a video about this, here in the future, but essentially where it comes down to supporting aspects, right? So if you're working on armor, what materials end up supporting that? And so you could end up saying like, well, I know I need to make sure I'm gathering hemp and leveling up my this, so I can actually craft, so I can actually provide myself materials, etc., to do so. And it ends up being kind of a little bit of a cycle. So you're like, okay, part one is I'm going to go gather, and that's all going to be a function of the economy. Like if it's super cheap, if it's like, oh, people are selling that for a penny, and you can just go buy it up and just like boost yourself up real fast, well, and then that's obviously the right play. But if it's like, man, they're selling it really expensive, like that kind of is the motivation for you to also then become more self-efficient. And so it's the same thing I actually did in Final Fantasy 14. I was like, originally I was just a caster, so the crafts that I leveled up the crafting because it, like I was repairing and building and being kind of self-sufficient in 1.0 were only the crafts that actually supported the play style that I was wanting. Eventually I became somebody who does everything in that game, but that became just a process of, you know, time. What's up, Jeff? How you doing today, man? Does that help at all, or like was there anything good out of that?
Yes.
Okay,
yes. Good. Everything you said. It's because what I do is I just look for the lowest, you know, whatever's cheap, because I did that initially because I've had a lot of iron stashed, a lot of fiber. So I'm like,
yes,
I will start, you know, using what I got. It's kind of like, you know,
exactly.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing, and if not, if I see some high tier items on the store that are like, you know, really cheap, and if that's what's I'm gonna need, then I'll do it that way. So I've kind of been doing the way you've been doing it, but yeah, it explains.
The other thing is that if you actually are, oh no,
sorry,
you're good.
I forgot I had my microphone down.
If you have enough capital, so like if you like I would say like once I get over 30 grand, I just went on a big spending spree, but once you get over 30 grand, you can actually start putting out buy orders, and I would recommend, like, you could actually say like, well, I'm needing this, and if it's, especially if it's going for more, you could see like, is anybody willing to sell it for less instantly? So you could actually start creating your own buy orders for the materials that you need, and you can set the price of what you're willing to pay, and maybe you can get lucky and somebody's just going to sell it to you for that price. So it's like, but I would recommend in terms of that you have enough capital at hand so that you can actually buy up a decent amount of that material, you know, pretty quickly as well. So I would encourage you. That all just depends on how much, you know, much money you have on your person, because you get to a point where all of a sudden, then when you can start kind of working the buy orders and it's beneficial to you in that degree, then you can people are leveling and providing for you while you're offline.
That's usually what I do, is I work the buy orders. Because, well, sort of. I work the buy orders if their values are near the sell orders, right? So, like, if it's selling for 1 gold and it's like, you know, sells for 0.75, I'll be like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll sell it as a buy order. But if it's like, you know, but sometimes you see like sell orders are like 5 gold, and then someone's asking for it for like, I don't know, like 20 cents. It's just like, nah, dude, come on, man.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, don't you know economics, buddy?
Yeah. So I'm the same way. Like, there's usually kind of a range. Like, do I want the money now, or do I think I can really get that? Buy orders are another really good way to kind of see kind of where demand in the market is. Which kind of can give you some goals of targeted loot. So from a materials perspective, you're like, oh man, this has a lot of buy orders, and then you go look and like, yeah, even if they're set, like, let's say someone's gonna buy it for a coin and it's selling for 5 or 6 coins, that means that they're going pretty daggum fast, right? So there's a big demand for that, and so it's like, oh, okay, like, you know, you can either then sell it for more, but I kind of look at buy orders as a good way of kind of gauging, like, are people really interested in that? Why this guy's retreating a lot?
Yeah, he can't decide where he's retreating to.
I know. He's like, oh no, I'm getting hit. Get out of here, guys.
I'm going to retreat to a spot that's not my leash point. Now I'm going to retreat to the spot that is my leash point.
Oh, Jeff says they went broke last night trying to do board missions and leveling up.
Lord.
That's where it's like also on the board missions, man, like turn that around, turn that into a profit center for you. Like, go grab those, don't turn them in, go get the materials and sell them. And then all of a sudden you're going to see that coin jump back right at you. Yeah. Because again, the illusion is that you need to get to 60 right now. That's I think that's an artifact of World of Warcraft. And if it's like, all right, get to 60. You're going to get to 60
World
regardless.
World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy 14.
2.0. Like 1.0 was not that way, but yeah.
Yeah. And I think sort of maybe Guild Wars 2 is like that, sort of.
So
I mean, now it is.
Paul's Gaming Live.
Not originally.
Paul's Gaming Live asks a really interesting question. This would be a great discussion, especially as it relates to MMOs. Talks about, do you think world economy across servers would help? And so that essentially kind of brings up really the question of, would this game benefit the world economy would have to then play into the fact that like your server really isn't localized, where like imagine if the game was saying, all right, people are on servers, but we're really just trying to make sure that every zone has at least 300 people in it at any one time, so that it's just like pulling, like kind of Guild Wars 2 kind of ends, where it's like, yeah, we want to make sure that the world is populated because the game is built around publicly being out in the open. Then essentially, yeah, I could see where the world economy of scale is actually making sense. But if they did something along those lines, those two changes, you'd have to then ask about the game of territory control and more, and how that would look and work in that kind of model, right? Because that would like, the thing is that everybody's world is different because everybody's kind of fighting for territory and etc. So if they were able to kind of figure out what that would look like in that kind of system, then yeah, I think that would be fine. But essentially, where it's like you have a world economy, it would be beneficial to you as a player to be on a low pop server, and you still would need you'd still need cross play. You'd still need to have like cross world matching. Now, we do know that they're going to be adding in, cross server matching for OPR, for PvP arenas. I think that's going to be a really good thing, because if you want to play on a low pop server, that would then ensure that you could do OPR, you could do things that would ensure that you would have the biggest possible pool of players to start matching against as well for any kind of instance content.
Yeah, kind of exactly my thought. I'm going to say that no, I don't think a single auction hall that links all the worlds is a good idea, for exactly the reason I would love to have a single auction hall that links all the worlds.
Yeah.
When we moved into this server, it was very frustrating at first, because so many more people means that the resource nodes are more farmed and it was harder to get resources. But because there's so many people, I was able to sell more things.
Yes.
So with a linked auction hall, I could just go roll a character on a low pop server, or just take my transfer to a low pop server, have basically uncontested access to unlimited materials, and then sell them at the prices of a full population server that has resource shortages.
Yeah.
And that's just not, like, that'd be great for me, but it would not be a healthy game.
Right, because then you're like, people might be just like, yeah. So it's a good discussion, like that. Like there's a lot of design decisions that would have to be changed or have to be completely rethought of in order to do that. And if they were going to ever go in that direction, then it's essentially like, then it shouldn't matter what server you're on. Like your server you're on is just kind of your entry point, and then the game literally balances it out in real time. And that could be a value, because like, Guild Wars 2 has that model, and it works for them, but they're not fighting over territory control. And that's where this game's different. And I like that there's territory control. I like seeing my purple boys, struggle. I like that it's like, oh, in faction chat, hey, I should go focus in on this zone so we can try and capture it as a faction, even if I'm not going to be the controlling player. I like that sandbox element that's constantly going on behind the scenes. I think it could be improved upon. Everything with this game, I'm like, I absolutely adore this game, guys. It could definitely be better. Oh, there's a blood splatter right there. Just running up on this guy, and also just like, bloom. I lose my music. Yeah. Now, with like cross server stuff, like like there could be a value in saying like, oh, you're on a thing and we want to run a dungeon, like let's just come on, just join this or whatever. So like everything, I think, should be, we could evaluate. Warhammer reduces cooldowns by 7% when using light attacks against targets with active debuff. Interesting. Reduces stamina consumption by 30% when blocking. Increase stamina absorption by 10% when surrounded. After hitting a target with an active debuff, gain haste. Nice. I might like that speed boost. I have I invested pretty heavily in my PC. I've got 64 gigs of RAM. I have a 3080. I have the AMD 16 core processor, the 5950X processor. So that's kind of the base specs that I've got. And then I also run this game on GeForce Now on my non-gaming computers. And then I also have I also run the game on Steam Deck. So I've got the Steam Deck set up as well. So the game does support a wide range of hardware.
And it's not bricking GPUs anymore.
The problem with that is like, and it's like there's going to be a long time where that's going to be a part of the narrative, but the manufacturers came out and said our bad. It's like, all right, and then essentially you haven't heard of that at all again. Like it's like, yeah, I still people like, oh, this guy's like, if it was still bricking your computers, like if it was still like if the manufacturers who came out and refunded people's cards because of a soldering issue wasn't true, then you would still see the problem, and you then don't. So like in my mind, it's one of two things: either the problem was fixed, or it's not monetary feasible to make New World articles talking about it. You know, so it's like there is that. Like I always kind of usually default back into the incentive structure to, and this is just how I consume news. I go, what's the incentive infrastructure that is feeding me this information? And I try to get at least two different counterpoint sources so I can hopefully weed in to get the real information. Yeah. Oh yeah. OPR, Paul. Like even for small pop servers, one of the things that was like, if you like there are people who want to play on a low pop server. Low pop server isn't like a death sentence, but it is much harder to get OPR and PvP arena, especially for different level ranges. And so like having that as a come in as a must, oh my gosh, dude, that's going to be so nice, because then imagine if you want to play on a low pop server, that's your choice, and then you're not cut out from actual content. And then I'm looking forward to when they're talking about having simulated wars or something, like, because they have a lot of content like with Wars and Invasions, but that's content that I've never been around to do because it doesn't work for my schedule. It's like, oh, sorry guys, like, good luck. I would totally join in. I'm looking forward to doing that content at some point, you know. And so then imagine if they want to bring in simulated wars and simulated all right, level 15. Yeah, baby. Okay, first goal of the day achieved. Stretch goal under an hour. Let's see if we can push these up a little bit further. All right. Gain in power on heavy, increasing attack damage. Oh, hell yeah. Oh yeah. Feels good. It feels good when you get something done in a game, you know. Like it's like, all right. Mm-hmm. It's like, I know maybe non-gamers might not understand it, but it's like sometimes I'm just like, and that's on me, man. Like sometimes I put ridiculous like goals. I'm like, and then I don't hit them, and then I'm like, man. Yeah, if they added to the dungeons, being that dungeons are instants, like that could be a value too, right? Like you're just looking for people to play with, you know? You're like, all right, let's go. Yeah, because but the thing is, like, I don't want, and the thing will always I have to kind of figure out, like, how is the, you know, you don't want to always, like, I don't want the game to become another instance simulator, right? Like where. Like those games exist. I've already played those games. Like I love the open world, and the feedback, they seem very positive on it when I went 3v3 against them, was that, yeah, can you make the longer that these enemies are alive, can they give bonus experience? Like imagine that. Imagine having the ability to post level, you know, I'd like to aptitude level in the game with experience, and then all of a sudden PvE enemies have bonus experience the longer that they've actually been spawned on the map. And then you're like, oh, what do you do? Like, I just gotta run around and level up on monsters, you know? Like, I know that's not content that everybody enjoys, but dadgummit, man, that is some of the most chill, relaxing content that I enjoy. Like, I could do this all day. Like, I would never think like, hey guys, I'm gonna stream for 8 hours, but I could sit here and look up and be like, holy crap, it's been 8 hours. Maybe I'll do a birthday stream. My birthday's coming up in the end of this month. and maybe we'll figure out some kind of like birthday stream to do. It's like that might be a lot of fun.
Turning 30, right?
Haha. Dude, man. Okay, so if I have 5 kids, if I was turning 30, yeah, I guess that wouldn't be like too bad. That would have been like I would have been early 20s. Yeah.
Okay.
So no, I started. We couldn't have kids, you know. So Julie and I couldn't have kids for a long time, and you know, she had a for those who don't know, she had a brain tumor, and that was preventing us from getting pregnant. So crazy story, and it's one of the bits that I really actually enjoy telling on when I do stand up. But yeah, so
it's impressive that you can turn such a scary and sort of sad story into a joke. It's very impressive.
Well, I think that's kind of the root of the comedy, right? Like, at least that's how I view it. One of the things I love about becoming a stand-up comic, I'm 40. I'm 40 years old. One of the things I enjoy about it actually starting now is I know who the hell I am. Like, I go look at the jokes and stuff that I wrote when I was like, 22 and stuff, was when I was thinking about going into it. Like, they were all just like trying to be like, something I'm not. Like, I was just like, because that's what I thought comedy was. And all this is just like, I'm literally laughing at, anything that used to scare me, or that used to like, cause me like grief. It's the ability to, it's honestly, I think it's just a very human experience.
Yeah.
Well, and it's the thing is like Colbert said something, and it was like so profound. I really truly hold on to it. Is that suffering makes us more human? Because it's like who here hasn't ever suffered something? And these are experiences that feel isolating until you stand up and face them and put your finger in their face and be like, no. And then all of a sudden you're like, everybody's like, oh, you're going through that too? Especially as men, and I, not that everybody here who's watching is a man, but especially like I was, speaking for myself as a man, like there is this culture, this mindset, like, shut up, get to work, don't share, just like whatever, buckle down. And it's like, yeah, it turns out like, yeah, anxiety sucks. It's like, yeah, all right, let's maybe we can come up with some tools on how to freaking deal with that. Garth Mendergrelli's Dark Place. No, I haven't actually. I don't. I get TV curated through my wife. Like, I rarely watch shows. Like, because if you're gonna say like, cause like in life, I have limited time, and so if you're ever gonna be like, Brian, what do you want to do? It's like, I want to play a video game. Like, that is how I relax. That is how I can kind of escape. Mm-hmm. That's why you play Diablo Immortal, just that loop. Yeah. Diablo Immortal, I have a feeling that game's probably going to do very, very financially well. And then essentially they're going to come out with the Diablo 4, and I think it's going to be probably a little bit better, and that's going to be more good press for them. And so it's like, oh yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to Diablo 4. I will play it. Parody of 80 Horrors Television. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, like the Gremlins. Gremlins is like probably my far favorite movie as a kid. Gremlins and Gremlins 2. It was just ridiculous. There we go. Get that extra damage. Oh, you're in game. Jav, are you on my friends list, or are you in the company? Are you? Let me know if you're Yawhide. Spolda. One of the cool, unique marketing aspects that New World does have is its Twitch integrations and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like that, and like when it comes down to it, it's like people are talking about like marketing for July. Like, should they start really pushing marketing? I would think from a marketing perspective, that's the perfect time for the 1 year. You have the new zone, you got the new weapon. You can do a lot marketing wise, and again, more content for people to do, more dungeons. A lot of these things are in, and like it just seems like a good time to be like, okay, let's pick up marketing. But for July, that doesn't mean that they can't do Twitch integrations and and more things like that, just to keep people like keep that going and keep the information going, because it's truly interesting. Yeah, I am too, Eagle Eye. If you haven't though, like I'm going to continue to encourage this aspect, with the exception of Yamarin. Like he's I want him to make sure he has a good break so that when he comes back he's excited. He doesn't come back and be like, all right, I'm done. But the is the idea that pop in from time to time and hit that escape key and hit that submit feedback button. Tell the devs what you're doing, because I honestly feel like they are truly listening and they're really doing some really good work. Yeah, Diablo Immortal is the best and worst. It was the best of times and the worst of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't let anybody steal your fun, man. Like, that's the thing. Like, yeah, enjoy it. Like, have fun with it. I like the controller player on PC. On the PC beta was frustrating. I was like, all right, whatever. But Diablo 4, I think that's going to be really exciting. Having played Diablo 4, I can tell you it was really fun.
Oh, you played it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The beta, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I got to go hands on with the druid. Oh, dude, and it was just the animations too were great. I had some really great animations for the druid. I love that I'm with the Karamak, that you have the great axe with that gravity well. That's so nice to be able to kind of sync everybody together, and then it's like, all right, perfect.
Yeah.
Line them up.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I love the sandbox of this. Every time they add a new weapon, it's like, guess what? Like, there's even more build possibilities, right? There's all brand new metas and things like that. So it's just like there's a lot. Also, yeah, if you guys haven't been keeping up with the July notes with it, like the perks and stuff, like some really good rework, some really exciting things that are just gonna feel like I like that the durability perk is becoming the invulnerable perk, meaning that if it has it, that gear doesn't take any durability damage. And I think my fishing rod has that. I hope it does. No, it doesn't. Bummer. I was like, oh.
And has the 50% durability bonus.
So that's going to be that's going to become invulnerable. So it will not take any durability damage.
Good.
So that is completely that perk becomes like that. That sounds like a god roll perk for some things, especially tools. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, sweet. Like, no durability damage on this bad boy.
Oh, well, with that in mind, maybe I should check my other tools and see if I need to go buy them.
Oh yeah, like right now would be the time, because that perk's going to get auto upgraded.
My logging axe and my harvesting sickle are both durable. I need to do the mining axe and the skinning knife. Well, now I have money.
Sweet. Awesome.
Where did you go?
Well, I just sent Jehev. Awesome, perfect. Thanks, Jehev. Sorry, like, I wish it would let me add notes, right? Like, it'd be so nice to be like, okay, like put a note in here, that way it's like I can know certain things. We could do some duels. Oh yeah, that, like, they announced that, I was like, that, so, like, because they're just looking over the perks, trying to make them all better. I was like, that's perfect. That's excellent. I love that. But that's that's gonna make people who've gotten certain, like, what they feel best in slot, and then all of a sudden it's gonna change best in slot. There's always drama when it comes to a change. And it's just a matter of what it is. All right, just kind of as a reminder, got 40 minutes. I'm gonna wrap up at 2:00. So we're just gonna keep just leveling. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thanks for the 26 likes. Thanks for everybody hanging out here in voice. My ideal would be like we kind of get to do this like once a month, where it's like a Saturday and we're all just playing something and having a good time. Because it's like that's why I do. That's why I make videos. So I have friends to talk about video games with. It's like, all right, guys, what are we playing? What are we talking about? Oh yeah. One of the things, like I was on ACG's podcast the other day, and before the show, we were all kind of talking because him and Skella were talking. It's like right now, like, you know, talking about kind of a gaming recession. Like, is it down? Is gaming? And it's like I tell you, algorithmically across the board, like it just feels, you know, my feeds aren't being populated with gaming videos. So yeah, Paul, I'm on controller right now, so it's just like just how I play.
Is it a gaming recession or is it a bull market for reactions?
I think it's a bull market for reactions is one part of it. Like that's legitimately kind of one big thing that's happening. So I probably should kick back and make some reactions this week. It's like, all right. So if you guys want me to react to anything, send it my way. But as I do on the channel, like for reaction content, I will share 50% of the revenue with the original video, unless I do like a serious edit on it to where it's like I just cut out everything they say. Yes.
There was something, but I forgot. I'll have to go look through my history, see if I can find it.
Yeah, I usually like I always kind of like I like to more or less do reaction based off of like oh hey Brian, you want to like check out this video or something like that, as opposed to like kind of like, you know, searching for, you know, things to react to. It's like but yeah, the reaction meta is massive right now.
Josh Drive Hayes did one about were old MMOs better?
Okay. How long is that?
It's like 18 minutes, I think.
Okay, so that's gonna be a. I would anticipate a 40 to 60 minute video for me. In 18 minutes. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then that's where he did his reactception video, which I think would be a great reaction for the two of you to do together, to just make it a joke video of where you say you're going to react to his reaction to the reaction to the reaction, pull it up, see that it's 4 hours and go, wow, that's really long. Well, that's the reaction, and then it's just a 1 minute video from you guys.
Oh, that's a good idea. In fact, that's actually what like Josh was just saying. It's like, in terms of like being reacted to, like react back. You know, just react back.
That stream was ridiculous. He started to watch Asmon's reaction to Asmon's reaction to his video. Found out Zeppla did it. Pulled that up. Found out Zeppla was live, and watching his stream live, put her on the feed. Called Calum. Had Calum watch. I think Calum was watching Zeppla, watching him. Put Calum's feed on. It's just the most ridiculous thing.
That's funny.
And in the 4 hours, he got maybe 3 minutes into Zepla's video. Because he just keeps pausing and talking about other things.
Yeah.
Not even related to it. Like, when he goes sarcasm, he goes, well, he's British. When he goes sarcasm, he goes full sarcasm.
Yeah. Full bore, baby.
It was great. It was infuriating. I loved it.
Streamception. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to figure some things out. I think also like need to make some more shorts and what have you. Oh no, did my game crash again? Twice.
Oh no.
Yeah, am I laying down?
I'm gonna come to where you are. I'm killing a dude and then I'll find you.
Okay, cool. I've been having I don't know if this is actually dealing with the game, but I've actually had random issues with the with my computer, with actually like doing Photoshop and with doing Premiere. I think essentially like I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm like, it will be less work to just kind of like reformat and do a clean install and and go from there.
You just laid down.
Nice. Okay, yeah, I just literally closed the app, so I guess I realized
you weren't, and then you laid down. And I don't know if Distorted said it before I did because I was not looking at chat, but he suggested in the chat the exact same video I was just talking about.
Okay, cool. I'll make sure I get some time with that one.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing, dude?
I'm melting.
Nice and hot.
It is horrible. I'm also a little bit annoyed because my brother and I just tried to kill Sarathun, and I think the game bugged out because...
Oh lord. Oh no. Oh no! You got disconnected in the middle of a spot where a bunch of elites spawn, and they just respawned on top of you and me, and I'm all by myself.
I'm coming. What's memtest? I haven't... Run Windows memory diagnostic to start with. Is that just, do I just search Windows memory diagnostic? I'm guessing I don't do that while I'm playing a game.
Maybe
yeah, no.
not.
I think that's a diagnostic that runs during post. Like it queues it up to start it next time you reboot.
Okay, cool.
It's a memory. It's basically a RAM checker. It's just checking all of your what's the term for that? I have lost it.
All the different connections and such.
Yeah, I want to say clusters, but that's the term for a hard drive.
RAM sticks? I don't know.
Mem test could be a RAM test.
Yeah, it is a RAM test. Yeah.
All right.
It's looking for bad sections of RAM so it can block them and never use those again.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. All right.
I just started New World and the game was like, yeah, Steam has to be running for it to play. And I'm like, Steam is running. What the hell are you talking about?
Like, it's just trying to figure itself out.
Like, I was just playing Destiny. Steam was running.
Steam is here.
Oh, I can't see anymore. No. It became night. So we're gonna get ghosts, which is fine. But for some reason, it gets dark inside the cave at night. Why? We're inside a cave.
The sun isn't bouncing around, I guess.
Okay, I guess I have to restart Steam because it's still getting the same issue.
Weird.
I apologize, New World, for having added a button to my Stream Deck to start you immediately. I'll get rid of that.
Please start New
It
World
might
immediately.
literally be that, like, the button is just starting the exe file.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, I need the container. Where's the container?
You're not allowed to just start me from a button. You have to open... 1 second.
I can start it from a button. Not a Steam Deck button. I figured I'd play this one often enough that it's like the only Steam game that I gave it an icon on my desktop.
I do have it on my desktop as well, but I'm like, I have my Stream Deck, so I might as well use it. I love that thing.
That makes sense.
Alright, let's see if it works now. And while it starts, I'm gonna go and grab myself a beer because...
Ooh, that sounds fun.
I mean, it's 8:30 p.m. over here. I think I'm allowed to enjoy a little bit.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere to the west of you. It's really late.
I mean, somewhere to the west of me, it is 5 p.m. Yes.
Well, if you think about it, I could also technically be to the west of you.
That's true. Not quite that far west, but yeah.
Yeah, well, meaning like it could also be like, you know, early.
Hello, I came in to say hi. It's Gallant.
Hey, Gallant. Thanks for stopping by. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm downloading the game.
Yes!
Cool beans.
Woohoo! So glad and welcome back. Welcome back.
One of us.
One of us. So, how long have you been on a break from New World?
Not that long, just a couple months, I think.
Oh, that's a good,
I
nice
cycle
break.
games.
What else do you play?
lot,
What else
though,
do you play?
so-
We're cyclers
I
here.
play
We're all
Path-
variety here. Like you gotta be.
Yeah. I play Path of Exile. I've been meaning to get into PSO2 NGS forever.
Yes.
It's just so big. It's like 100.
It's a big
megabytes,
game. It's a
whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh no, you can maybe selectively install because it installs like the old version of it and it also installs the new, but you might be able to selectively install so it just because I think just NGS is like 30 gigs as opposed to the full 100 but it's been a little bit. I haven't messed around with that a little bit, but I'm actually planning on jumping back into PSO2. I'm hoping here in a week or two. I just, it's just busy. Just busy. Oh man, if only I had more time to play video games. Like what? Well, maybe when the kids are grown. What else have you been playing or cycling through?
I got into BDO for a little while. Let's see what else. I've been playing some single player games, FTL. I got back into the Breach is getting new content, which I'm excited about.
Okay.
It's a indie game by the same people.
Yeah.
Awesome. That is awesome.
I'm totally blanking out now that you're like asking me.
Oh, no worries. You can always feel free to jump in. This is just like what I'm hoping. And then I was like, typically I try to do like one like nighttime community stream, but obviously like, globally, like, I mean, like Chris right here is like, he's based off in the UK. And so, yeah, he's like, it's late for him. So ideally I'd like to see if I can't have at least one Saturday game stream. I won't be able to do more than that. Namely because like, I like to make sure that my kids know who the hell I am. It's like, Dad's always playing nice video games. Dad's always like, no. Like once a week can chill. And ideally, as they get like, I purposely keep them away from the content. I'm not going to judge other content creators who have kids for whatever they choose to do. But I'm like, yeah, like at some point though, it might be streaming and stuff might be more of a family affair. But they're going to be much older before I even expose them to that.
I can't wait for you to do variant dungeons and quotidian dungeons with your kids.
Oh man, and how did your kids learn how to swear?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you guys won't be meeting my boyfriend because he has a hard time not swearing.
Yeah, and the ideally it's just like it doesn't like my wife swears like a sailor, so I always told her that if the kids ever like say anything, just blame me. I mean, it's like you can always throw me in the bus. I gave her the same thing. I was like, if you ever fart in public, you can always just look at me. I will fall on that fart grenade like that. Oh my God. That's true love. I love that. I haven't figured out how to way to work the fart grenade into my stand-up routine, but I'm gonna find a way.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. It's like,
we all say I love you in different ways.
yes, very true. Let's see here. Reduce hammer cooldowns. What should I focus in on?
I don't know. I'm waiting until we're done to actually review perks and do that stuff.
Yeah, I get excited and I'm just like, all right, I'm just stop killing things and just.
Well, also I want an actual tally of how many levels I got before we're done.
That's cool. Yeah, I just got to 16, so I started off at 10 and 10. So right now, so far, this is 11 levels of weapon stuff. That's how we describe it. That's the official term in New World, weapon stuff.
Weapon stuff.
Make it a thing, internet. Let's go. It's like, all right, congrats. Oh, he's level 20 weapon stuff on all of it.
I'm pretty sure I saw that in the source code somewhere.
Yeah, weapon stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds about right.
That's right.
It's fun.
Oh man, I'm so glad you're coming back. What I'd like to hear from you, Gallant, being as you're a returning player, just your general thoughts. Like I always like to hear it helps inform me because I'm like I haven't stopped playing, but I'll play more actively or less actively, just like as the Amarin goes. Like really depending on what I want to play. I think that's really critical to the enjoyment of video games, and that's actually a risk of what I see within the YouTube content creation space. It's like you have people who are like, oh, I can't play any other game because like I'm gonna like my community like how, especially if you're full time, like when it comes down to the people who are like a full-time content creator, I'm like, man, that sounds stressful.
Yeah.
Like I'm like oh yeah, like especially because like people will still say it. They're like, because the people will say, oh Brian, you're this creator, and I've heard people have labeled me a like hands down a Destiny creator, a Final Fantasy creator, a New World creator, because it's however they discovered my content. And that's how like they kind of like and I do the same thing to other creators. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw them and I found them for this video, and that's kind of what I watched them for. But it's like at the end of the day, like no, I have to have that flexibility to play what I want to play. Otherwise, it becomes, I don't know, it just becomes like I could see myself just not making videos anymore. I could easily see myself being like, all right, I'm out. It's like, I'm good. Like, it's not worth it.
All right. Rested XP bonus.
Yeah, right. You get that gives you ×4. So if you got rested experience and the double experience, you're gonna be getting some big numbers.
I'm level 10, so you know.
Yeah, welcome back.
I think I need all of that stuff. All right, let's start.
This game makes it really easy to get back into, though. Like in the fact that there's no subscription fee, so it's like, oh, I updated the game. Like in your turn, like Alan, you're saying like you had to actually clean up hard drive space, and I understand that thoroughly. Like that was essentially the biggest thing I run into. But yeah, like the fact that like if I wanted to like check, let's say I took a break from 14, if I wanted to check out the updates and I wasn't following it, like you have to subscribe right away before it even lets you update the game and try it out. And I'm like, ooh, yeah, New World definitely has that going for it in its favor.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't care for about 14. You have to be subbed to get the updates. Whereas, so that means you have to put your subscription in, then start your updates, and then the immediate hype of, oh, I just resubscribed, I want to play, is gone by the time you can actually launch it.
Yeah, it'd be so nice to be like, oh, it's already updated, I subbed. Oh, now it lets me like actually do that. That would be that would actually be just a simple quality of life feature if they were like, oh yeah, let people download updates, but you still can't, you know, instead of saying play, it would just say update, and then it would be like, oh yeah, would you like to play? Okay, we need a subscription.
And that's how WoW works, because as long as it's installed, it will automatically update if you have automatic updates turned on.
Oh,
so
nice.
when you're ready to go, it's just click the subscribe button, put your credit card number back in, click the play button, in you go.
Do y'all think that we'll see World of Warcraft subscription moved into Game Pass?
I joke that they are going to make like an MMO Game Pass, basically, where they're like, let's say, how much is Game Pass right now? $10?
Well, Ultimate's like 15 a month, which gives you PC and Xbox.
Yeah. So let's say 15, and they're upgrading that. Yes.
Sorry, continue. I'll be flabbergasted later.
Sure. Like, here's what I would probably do as a Microsoft/Xbox. Make an ultimate MMO version of the Game Pass and have it like $20-$25 or something.
Okay.
And include ESO Plus and the WoW subscription.
And then all of a sudden you start thinking like, man, if they had added more like into that, like if you said I could have ESO Plus, World of Warcraft, Game Pass for $25 a month, like that sounds like a heck of a good deal. You know, because it's like, oh, because I don't have ESO Plus and I'm not planning on playing World of Warcraft, but all of a sudden if it's like, wait a minute, like instead of like another $15 a month, because I wouldn't do that. Like you said, to like going from 15 to 25 and all of a sudden it's like I get all this extra stuff. I think that's something that I could be sold on, you know, because I'm not gonna I have Final Fantasy 14 and I want them to bundle 14 and 11 because at some point like there is this level of subscription fatigue. Like I'm just like, oh god, I gotta manage that. Is there, you know, almost in a way what you're kind of describing is kind of like how you have a cable package, right? Like you're like, okay, here's your thing. Like you pay, you know, this much a month, and here's all the entertainment products that you have access to.
That's also the other thing, like the bundle, basically, like set it and forget it, basically.
Yeah.
Like how many people have subscriptions that are not using, but they're just too lazy to hit that unsubscribe button, basically.
Well, I wonder if we'll start seeing a lot of that with like some of the like uncertainty with whatever's going on economically wise. So if we'll see more people kind of like, all right, I'm going to pause that, but who knows? Like, who knows? I think a lot of people forget about it.
I use Netflix collectively for about 2 years. I'd say there were about 24 months in which I had watched something or many things from Netflix. That subscription was on for 5 years before I stopped it.
Okay. So they got a couple years of just like, thanks.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to cancel because what if I want to watch the show? And then I never got around to I want to watch the show.
Yeah. I struggle with like watching shows because like, you know, like you like, oh yeah, Game Pass, absolutely. That sounds great. Like even if it's like I'm gonna play the new Xbox games, Redfall, Starfield, and stuff like that. That's gonna be fun. But like I don't know if I'm gonna become so enthralled with those that I'd actually ever go out and buy them. So, then yeah, I would. That's something I'm gonna be really curious to see if they end up having kind of a new tier. The problem is they've already from a branding, they already have used the name Ultimate, so I guess Ultimate Plus. Hey, what's up, Perry?
Yeah,
Perry says,
I mean, everything subscription has a plus on it now, so might as well.
yeah, oh yeah, like it's this plus MMOs. Oh yeah, yeah, that's gonna be
Go
crazy.
one step further and call it plus plus, and then it's a great joke for programmers.
There it is. Exactly. Yeah, GP plus plus. It's like Ginger Prime Plus.
I was about to say, is that your new subscription model?
Yeah. Guys, be sure to sign it. Oh, that's what I should rename the tiers. GP plus 1, GP plus 2, or something along those lines. Welcome to Ginger Prime Plus. Says, I have a feeling my computer wouldn't be able to handle New World. It's a gaming laptop about 4 or 5 years old. I play 14 on it and it does well, though Hunt Trains can make it kind of a bit of a chore. If you have, what's your internet, Perry? Like if you have 25 down in internet, I might push you over into GeForce Now, because this game runs on GeForce Now, and I have a computer and a laptop that's that exact same situation, and I play New World on it via GeForce Now without any problems. So, like, cloud streaming for the win. It's crazy to me that this game isn't on Amazon's Luma platform, and so I do wonder if we'll see them actually add in, like, native controller support, because I think that would be what would be the key difference to the game itself, but I could be wrong. Who knows? I just think it's kind of funny that they have a game and they have a platform and it's not there.
I still want to point out that I am literally not able to buy New World from Amazon.
Oh,
I can. It's impossible for anyone in Austria to buy New World on Amazon.com, DE, like a German Amazon.
Oh yeah? Huh.
Why?
Because it's Austria, not Germany. It's region locked to that country. And since there's no Austrian version of Amazon anymore, there used to be, but there isn't anymore, you are unable to buy that game.
Wow.
Yes.
And I thought Square made it hard to give you their money.
Yeah, Square. I think the hardest MMO to buy is Final Fantasy 14.
Yes, absolutely.
Hardest to buy 14, hardest to install 11. Oh
yes,
God.
yes.
Yes.
I was astounded after
easiest to fall in love with, maybe.
I was astounded after all the hassle it took to get it installed, that immediately after there was an interview where Yoshi P was like, oh yeah, they consulted me when they revamped it to make the whole process easier. Easier? What did it used to be?
I mean, from what I've heard, it used to take like 10, 12 hours to download everything, and now it's only 2 or something. So it is easier.
It is improved, but it is it is far from ideal.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Once I got the download started, it was fine.
Oh, and Shadow PC works great. I also played New World on Shadow PC.
It was just getting it to that point that was rough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Shadow PC works great. GeForce Now. Like, that's where I was like, I would love to see Final Fantasy 14 added to GeForce Now, and I have no idea why they're not. Like, let's go.
Stupid question as a new-ish player. Is button smashing... Oh, trust me, they are. Is button smashing viable, or should I actually time my hits?
You can time your hits. Placement of hits also is important. So if you were able to hit and land like headshots, you're going to get guaranteed crits. Attacking from the back also is very valuable. Pay attention to the color of damage that is going out. Blue means that the enemy is strong to whatever damage type that you're using. White means it's normal. That's just, not plus, not minus. Yellow means that you're doing increased damage because that enemy is weak to that damage type. And then the oranges means that you did a critical hit. and then you have obviously like your strong attack and your light attack. So you have that, weave that in. Also swap your weapons out, like so that way you can kind of you basically make the use of your skills. And so think of your character as having 6 skills. In my case, I'm only doing the focusing it on one weapon because I'm level grinding. But yeah.
6 skills. I see.
You get 3 per weapon. You get 3 per weapon. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go do some IRL stuff. I'll see you guys.
All right. Thanks for coming by, Gallant. Hopefully you have a good day.
Bye.
I think you should see your second weapon slot now.
Oh,
if you're level 11.
Level 11.
I'm seeing the second weapon slot, but I was just confused by. It sounded as if every weapon has 5 attacks, basically.
Oh,
yeah. No, let's see here. Like every weapon has 6 different options, and then you have to pick 3.
Yeah, you have a loadout of 3.
Oh, options. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
6.
So I would prioritize,
options, but only 3 actives.
Yeah, you get 3 actives per weapon. You get 2 weapons, total of 6. Then what I would say, also advise you in terms of like I would focus on getting your skills first, just so that you have more, like as you're leveling, you have more options to kind of like, to do damage, that are have a cooldown, and then focus on perks. Perks can also be very, very handy, and
and weapon respecs are free up until level 10, so feel free to try them, switch them out, and try all the abilities.
Weapon level 10, I assume.
Yes, weapon level 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not even that expensive after that, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's real cheap. But if you do it right before then, you never need to go back until the next update when they revamp all the perks.
Ooh. Okay. Yoink.
It just gives you, like, for me, somebody like the reason I really enjoy like streaming as an option is it gives me a lot of playing, a lot of places that I can play, because I like playing on my gaming PC, yeah, but then at the same time, like, I don't want to sit here and always just be like, all right, I'm gonna go off on my own and not be visible to the family, you know. So it's like I like to be like, that's why I like the Steam Deck a lot. It gives me a lot of options of places to play, so I'm enjoying that. Like this, I wish there was a way that, like, how is it that Google does not know how to check and catch that bot? You know, like, that just seems like something that's like, okay, write a rule that looks similar to this, but maybe
I also hate I'm sorry, I'm just gonna rant here for a little bit. I hate how I cannot just look at this user list on YouTube and be like, you're not allowed, just go away.
Yeah.
I can see they are in the chat, but I can't do anything until they do something, and that's just like, why though?
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to, like, I'm hoping YouTube continues to really work on the features of the YouTube Live, because like, there's a lot of things that I personally like streaming on YouTube more, because it feels more like relaxing. But like, gosh, you just sit here, like, I go when I stream on Twitch, I'm like, oh man, I wish I had that tool set. Like, oh man, I miss this. Oh, this would be wonderful. You know?
Yeah. Well, one cool thing that YouTube does that Twitch does not is that, let's say you get in like halfway through a stream, if you want, you can live rewind the stream.
Yeah,
that's true. That is massive.
In Twitch, you can't do that. You have to wait for the stream to be over, then go to the VOD, make sure that you don't have to subscribe for the VODs, and then
you can.
There are some.
You can watch the stream while it is. You can watch the VOD while the stream is still running.
Oh really?
Yes.
That's weird.
You can do that. Trust me.
Yes.
But it has to be, as you said, it has to be enabled by the streamer that non-subscribers are able to watch this. But trust me, it is possible.
Yeah, but how many people are really going through and watching VODs on Twitch after the fact? Like, I still see people I still see traffic on my VODs here, but I wish they would also segment it out, because I wish they wouldn't classify a VOD as an upload. I think it should be classified differently, because it'd be not, because right now you have like, if you go to the channel page, it's like videos. It's like it should be like videos and have a tab called like past live streams, you know, that as a separate, you know, thing for anybody who was like, I'm generally interested in that. But I think I don't know. I don't think the volume of interest is.
Well, what I also find weird is that, like, if you go, at least I haven't noticed that. I haven't noticed this. If it's there, I keep missing it. If you go to a YouTuber's channel page, if they're live streaming, it doesn't always show it.
I know. Oh
Like,
my gosh, I was like, wait.
Occasionally it will, but usually it doesn't. And so, like, there are guys who stream, and I'm just like, I don't know when. But like, I go to their channel instinctively, and just like, nope, they don't. It's not there. And I was like, son of a.
And as much as what's it called? Like, you're way easier to find new streamers on YouTube than on Twitch. Period.
That's what I've heard.
Is it
because of that Twitch is so saturated, or is it because YouTube literally has just a better search function?
I think it's the recommendations engine.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
YouTube's recommendation engine is much better. My Twitch recommends are almost always people I have already watched, or people who are in the stream I'm watching now. Like if I'm watching somebody play like Among Us, for example,
really?
5 out of the 6 recommended are going to be the other players in that one game that I'm already watching.
I don't even get that. The recommended in my list are people like just random people that just like have nothing to do with what I'm watching except for maybe the game.
When it comes down to it, like when it like if you were like, if I was gonna sit here and just like take control of like the YouTube, especially the channel page, like what I would love to be able to highlight like on my channel page would be like, what games do I play? And so that way, like if you were looking at it, you're like, oh, I see Brian plays Final Fantasy, like, you know, where you get the beautiful box art, and it's like, oh, Brian plays this, and he plays this, and he plays this, and you could be like, all right, I'm interested in, you know, like checking out like that, and it would then show you like, oh, here's his videos and here's his past live streams, etc. Because like I was like, as I've multi-channeled, the thought I was like, well, I'm going to stream on Prime, and I know that it's going to have a positive and a negative effect, but I'm not going to be like, oh, follow me over here, like, and we'll do the podcast like on, like, you know, if I was going to do a New World podcast, I'd put that up on Ginger World, like, as where it would live, so it's very themed into what the content you get. But Prime being a variety in my mind is like, yeah, that's where I would do that. But if the browser, the Final Fantasy directory is broken, they've done a lot of work cleaning it up, but we always continue to see that as a problem, because like they'll have the games listed separately. So if you were trying to find like a Final Fantasy stream, like they would show you ARR and Stormblood as 2 separate like directories as opposed to one directory, which makes, I think, overall the directories even look smaller on YouTube, you know? And so you're like, all right, yeah. It's like, wait a minute, like everybody else calls it Final Fantasy 14 Online, and YouTube's the only one that seems to struggle with like whenever there's an expansion to an MMO. It's like, all right, come on, guys. Or an expansion to a game, because they actually classify World Slayer as a different game. So people might be streaming Outriders, and if you're looking for Outriders, you're like, oh, but now there's 2 categories for Outriders. From a video perspective, I get it. From a live stream perspective, they need to get that figured out.
Yeah. I was going to say, I can see why they would do that. They are wrong, but I see why they made that choice.
Yeah.
And they're making that choice everywhere. Like, WoW, for example, has like 10 to 12 different gaming options on YouTube. And it's not just WoW and WoW Classic, like retail and Classic. I could understand that immediately. No, it's like literally like half of their expansions, and then just World of Warcraft.
I think GeForce Now, in terms of Shadow PC gives you unlimited, so like you could do Final Fantasy 14 on Shadow PC. There is still I think there might be a wait list on that, so you might look at, you know, if you're able to get one, because some people have kind of said, hey, like, I'm on a list to get my Shadow. I'm like, how long? They're like 3 months. I'm like, wow. But that might have been resolved. Like I know everybody's been pinched by like the silicon shortage, etc. But I would say like GeForce Now is pretty cheap and simple to set up. You can actually try it out for free. You don't get priority access, and you don't get a long, like you get like an hour or two gaming session. So you could actually probably try out GeForce Now to see if it would work for you, and play New World on it. And then if it doesn't work for you, then you know. So like that, I would recommend doing that, because then if it works for you, and then you're like, oh, I would like to have more control, then you could actually probably look into Shadow and then see what the wait list is like. Because it's not like you subscribe to the service for life.
Okay, leveling is ridiculous right now. That is so funny.
What I saw you're 11. What level are you now?
I mean, I'm still 11, I think, but my mining is at 18 1/4 right now.
Wow.
And let me just hit this iron vein here real quick and see how much I'm getting. Yeah, I'm now 20 and a half from 1. It was a big iron vein thing, but still.
Yeah,
like
GeForce Now is much cheaper. You'll get you because you don't actually have, because Shadow PC sets you up your own PC in the cloud. So it's like boom. GeForce Now is like, oh cool, you want to play this game? Boom, and it creates that instance for you. So it's much more scale. I think it's much faster in terms of scale, but limited because they have to create the games that they then list to support. And there have been publishers who are like, we don't want our game on GeForce Now, and I'm like, why? Like that makes me go, I'm not going to buy your game now. Like when I see that, I'm like, all right, no, that's ridiculous. Level 12, bop. Congrats, dude.
Thank you. Yeah,
right.
It is.
I got
absolutely ridiculous.
It is almost 2:00, so I'm gonna head to the town real quick, and I'm gonna dump some stuff into storage.
Do soon.
Okay.
Boom. Hidden stash.
Oh yeah, you get 3 of those per day. And the thing is, and you want to open them. You don't want to sit on them.
Okay, because I was gonna ask, should I wait before I open them until I'm higher level?
No. You open those every day.
Okay.
Because they also have coin in them as well.
Yep. Let me see. I was hoping that I might have some food on me that gives me like even more XP, but sadly not. That would have been ridiculous.
I don't think there is XP food in this one. There's stat food.
I think there is XP food.
Uninstall.
I think there is XP. I think there's XP food.
I don't.
Right?
I'm thinking.
Don't believe so. The ones I've seen so far.
No.
Are,
I don't believe there's XP food. There's stat food.
Yep, there's stats. There's luck for gathering trades, and then there's boost the minimum item level of crafted goods.
All right, ignore anything positive I've ever said about this game. It's garbage. No XP food. I could see them adding that in the future, though. Like you just want to say, because that'd be kind of fun.
I mean, there's a game.
Now they don't need to because they're putting in XP bard buffs.
Yeah, they are XP bard buffs.
There's a game I play. I can't remember what it is, but like food will give you like a 3% like XP buff.
That's 14.
That's 14.
Yeah, I was about to say that's
14.
Like Final Fantasy 14.
That's how long I haven't played 14. I just forgot what game it was.
Like what game is this?
In this game, the base food buff is 1% health regeneration, and all food gives you that. In 14, it's 3% XP.
Yeah. Any food will give you 3% in 14, which is amazing. Like if you just want to up your XP gain in 14, just anything works.
Dude, I will never. My character in FF14 will never get scurvy because I drink so much orange juice just to get the XP buff.
Get that orange juice, baby.
Yep.
Let's see here.
All
All
right.
right. So I'm gonna grab
End result,
a.
collectively 13 weapon levels across 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I'm just
7.
stacking up the mutated orbs. So once July goes, I'm gonna be just popping these things open. I mean, I need to do more faction. I need to just have a day of faction missions so I can. I banked so many tokens. All right, I'm gonna report this bot again. Stop.
Yeah, I tried to do the same. It's just.
I don't understand why they're here. I mean, no offense, but you've only got 20 people watching right now. Why is it advertising here?
I just want to advertise anywhere. I don't know why they, who knows? Who knows?
That's a fair point. It's a bot. It's not limited to one chat at a time. It's probably advertising
It's
on
everywhere.
all of them.
It's it's everywhere. Well, like because we had the rise of the fembots. Like there was a period of time where like just in all of my videos, like tons of like comments of like from like attractive women trying to do whatever, and it's like ugh, all right.
Whoa.
No.
Nice.
Brian's popular with the ladies.
I mean,
Obviously, you have a lot of children.
At least with one lady. Like I'm popular with one. That's all you need. That's all you need.
You're popular with one.
Oh, that's so funny, Pulp. Oh, you actually just joined in as I'm wrapping up. I'm gonna go hang out and gonna get my workout on, and then Julie and I are gonna head out to Fort Worth. And the fact that peanut butter jelly's in Fort Worth, I'm gonna have to get a kind of a DFW. Social night, like get some drinks or something going on at some point. We did that before the COVID. Maybe we need to do that again sometime soon. But I'm gonna wrap up. Thanks guys for hanging out. Thanks everybody joining me in voice. It's just been just a nice thing, just kind of chill. And ideally, we'll be hopefully doing one of these Saturday game days at least once a month. I think I enjoy playing during the day when I'm not exhausted. So I don't know about y'all, but it is what it is. And Pulp blew up a firework last night. Very nice, very nice. We'll be doing some of that, I think, tomorrow. So we're gonna go see some family and whatnot. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap up stream. Thank you so much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I will see y'all in the next whatever the heck goes next. So bye, guys.
Later.